Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Treefort. We're really starting to tackle the important issues. Today we're going to be showcasing really just the club president of the club that knows with certainty that Cheesecake is the best pie. So I am joined by the RPG chick, who's going to be running, I assume, an RPG.
Yeah, typically that's what happens.
So we're going to be showing off Lunar Legend today, which is going to be super cool. I'm looking forward to it. I am going to pass it over to RPG Chick in just 1 second, but first, a couple of news items just to get out of the way. Tomorrow, Community Spotlight is going to be showing off Dandara, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. I hadn't heard of it until today. It looks really cool. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Prize submissions for AGDQ are open. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more information if you're interested in getting some prizes in. Frame Fatales is going to have run submissions open from December 15th to January 14th. So if you're interested in showcasing the runs that you're working on, that's coming up pretty soon. And just a reminder, all of the non-main GDQ content, all of this, all of the community spotlight, everything that we run in between the charity events is paid for from viewers like you. So people who are subscribing, people who are cheering, thank you all so much. RPG Chick, tell us about this run.
So, Lunar Legend is technically a remake of a remake. So it originally started on Sega CD with Lunar Silver Star, and then it got remade on both Sega Saturn and then PlayStation 1 as Lunar Silver Star Complete. It was later ported here to the Game Boy Advance as Lunar Legend. So, unfortunately, Game Boy does not have the capacity that PS1 and Sega Saturn do, but it's still a really pretty game with some very, very nice sprite work, and a few story changes, which I'll point out to you along the way as we go along.
Well, that sounds great. Let me know when you're ready to start. I've got my finger on the timer, so as soon as you're good to go, let's get this going.
Okay, so I think I'm good to go. So, in 3, 2, 1, and go. So, if you've played Lunar Silver Star story for PlayStation 1, you're going to see a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. And of course, we start out with Alex, who is going to be the hero of this story. He wants to be just like Dragon Master Dyne. So this is your very, very typical boy wants to be the hero, rescues the damsel in distress, and defeats the evil, hopefully, in the end. But it's very cute, and it has its own little quirks along the way. So, here is Alex. Can't be a Dragon Master yet, I'm sorry, Alex, it's too soon. And he has a companion, this flying cat named Nal. And Nal is adorable. How can you not like Nal? But essentially, everybody is kind of chastising him because he's always up here dreaming of adventures and dreaming of being like Dyne. Luckily for us, our friend Ramus here comes up, he's like, hey, I've got a really good idea. Let's go get us a dragon diamond from the White Dragon Cave. Also, there's some dude in town talking about dragons. Maybe you want to go check him out. And there's where it changes a little bit from Silver Star story. So before we go into town, we're going to make a quick stop in Alex's house and pick up a few treasures. Most of them we're not going to use right away, but they are going to be very useful down the line. So some healing items, some magic recovery items, and a teleport item that we're actually going to use about midway through the run. So nice thing about this game is you don't have to mash. You can just hold down the B button. It's super convenient, and it's much easier on your hand. So we're going to go pick up our childhood friend Luna, who we're technically supposed to be practicing with. And you can kind of hear her singing off in the background. She is a songstress. And technically, Alex usually plays the ocarina with her to practice their song. And there is a festival coming up, and they really needed to practice. So Luna's not going to be too happy with Alex for being up at Dyne's monument again and wasting time. By the way, if y'all have any questions about this game or any of the Lunar games, you can always throw them in chat, and Tina can relay them to me as we go along. But we're gonna go check out what Ramus told us about, which is the person from Vane in the center of town. So here's a big difference. Usually, we don't find Nash until a little bit into the beginning of the game. But in this version, he's actually here talking about the fact he wants to go check out dragons and calling us all rubes and hicks because that's just kind of what Nash does. And he demands that we show him how to get to the White Dragon Cave. Will I be doing Lunar 2? So Lunar 2 is actually a very, very long PlayStation 1 speedrun that unfortunately I will not be doing. But thank you for asking. I like Lunar 2. It's actually my favorite in the series. So we're going to go pick up the map. We're going to go pick up Nash. And we're going to head off. So here's another change. There is no actual White Dragon Cave. There's only the Weird Woods. And the White Dragon, where the White Dragon is, actually connects here to the Weird Woods, which is not something that usually happens in the regular versions. So yeah, so we tell Nash that the White Dragon is somewhere in these woods and we have to find them. And what we're actually going to have to do is we're going to have to read 3 tablets in order to unlock the doors that lead to the White Dragon Caves area. We're also going to be taking some battles along the way for a little bit of grinding. We need to hit level 3 before we leave these woods at the very end. Dragon Song is a okay speedrun. That's my opinion on it. But yeah, starting out, we're just kind of... You can also see the battle, of course, is a little bit different. Typically in Lunar games, your characters will run across the screen and then they'll do 1 or 2 attacks depending on what level they're at and whatnot. So there's the first tablet. It has some written words about the goddess on it. It doesn't really matter right now, because we kind of don't know what it means yet. But yeah, so we're going to keep going through the woods. There's going to be 2 more tablets to run into. Also, I love Nash's victory celebration with his finger wagging there. Luna also, thankfully, is going to be our resident healer for a little while, so that we don't die as we go through here. So there's also little limit break type gauges on the bottom of the screen. We kind of want Luna and Alex's limit breaks to be almost full when we get through this area. So we're going to take a break because Nash is a city boy. He's not used to taking long hikes through the woods. So we have a nap, we have a snack, and now we're going to continue on our way. So we still got 2 more tablets to hit. Let's go find them. So there's going to be one up here. Again, it's just going to give us more words about the goddess Althena, who is the goddess of this world. We're going to keep taking battles because we have not hit level 3 yet. Nice thing about this speedrun, as compared to some other RPG speedruns, is there really are only 2 main grinding spots. The first one is nice because you can kind of grind as you go along, but the second one depends on a little bit of luck. And you'll see when we get to that point. Also, Also, look at that heckin' awesome cheesecake on that layout, because it is delicious and it's making me want cheesecake.
It says number 1 on that picture. What do you think that means?
I mean, it means that cheesecake is number 1. What else could it possibly mean?
Oh, yeah, that checks out.
Alright, so tablet number 2 is done. Let's go check out tablet number 3. Yeah, we'll still fight the mushrooms. Some of these are much better experience than others. The doggos and the plants are better experience than the mushrooms, but luckily we're just gonna keep running into stuff anyway, so it's good. Reset heavy parts. No. So unlike the other lunar games where the bosses can really wreck your runs, the interestingly enough, it's a little like Mystic Quest, and if you die in a battle, you can actually just restart it, which makes it very safe as a run. Of course, it does eat up time if you have to restart the fights. This also has a very, very nice glitch that the other games do not have. I like Null better, just because Ruby is kind of annoying. No, I'm not bringing it back. Hush. But yeah, I find Ruby to be kind of annoying and clingy, and yeah, I don't enjoy her as much as Null. I think Null is much more endearing. Plus, Null also revives your party members, well, sometimes. More so in this game than in Silver Star Story. But, it's more than Ruby does, with the exception of, like, one major battle in Eternal Blue. Alright, so we've seen the 3 tablets. We're gonna go head to the gate. I'm gonna pray that these mushrooms don't kill Luna. Please don't kill Luna. I really would like her limit break gauge to be full after this. But yeah, this is a good introduction to Lunar if you want something that's a little bit shorter and still has the good story and the good characters. Unfortunately, though, you don't get the voice-acted cutscenes. So that is something you are going to miss in this game. You still get cutscenes, but not voice-acted cutscenes. So here we go, gate. So we need to figure out how it is that we're supposed to get into this gate, because this is what leads to the White Dragon Cave. And Luna figures out, oh hey, why don't we try the stuff that we saw on the tablet? So, month of bounty, the offering, she'll show us a bound. Essentially talking about the Harvest Festival. So Luna decides, hey, why don't we sing that song that we've been practicing? And you get la la la's. So their song for the Harvest Festival opens the gates. Very interesting. Nash is a little intrigued at this point. And Luna's kind of creeped out by the fact that all of this is happening. So I don't see any dragon cave, but I see lots of stuff in the water. So Alex is like, hey, you know, take a look at this. It looks like there's writing on it. Nash can't read it, but interestingly, Luna can. She's not sure why. She says, oh, the words are just kind of popping into my head. And all we have to do is say the white dragon's name, which is Quark. And now we can go see the white dragon, and we don't have to undergo his trials or anything. Just go right in. It's kind of nice, actually. Exactly. It's not an RPG chick run without singing. So, in this version, Nash also wants to be a Dragon Master. And if you've seen the Lunar games, you know how amusing that actually is. So, Nash wants to be a Dragon Master, Alex wants to be a Dragon Master, Ramus wants Dragon Diamond, and Luna's just kind of here for the ride. So, so the White Dragon Quark decides to test both Nash and Alex, telling them, like, oh, if you want to be a Dragon Master, like, you're going to have to make some choices and undergo this trial. And here, it doesn't matter what the heck you say to Quark. If you want to be strong, you want to protect people, you have no idea, it doesn't matter. That only affects, like, this optional dungeon in the middle of the game. And it just changes what item Alex gets in it. You do get to see Kyle in dress and makeup, yes. Not to the same capacity, because you don't see it in a cutscene, you just see it in the sprite form. So, Alex passes the test, he gets the dragon ring. Quark also gives him a dragon diamond. Not sure why humans want his dragon diamonds, because, well, they're dragon poop. But apparently they're very valuable dragon poop. So I'm gonna make my way out of this area. That cheesecake is #1. That's what that cake is. And this game has been remade, if you count PlayStation and Saturn versions as different ones, then that's 4 times, because aside from this, you also have Lunar Silver Star Harmony on the PSP with completely different voice actors. So the PS1 version came first, before this version. Because technically this version is based off of the PS1 version. Also, I still haven't hit level 3. We still need to do that. Which is why I'm still taking fights. I have not played Lunar Magical School. I have watched the Great High Spirits run it, though. And it is a very interesting little game. I do wish it actually had a translation of some kind. Come on, level. Thank you. Alright, so now we're level 3, now we can try to run from things. I mean, it's not bad if we take more fights, but it's completely unnecessary. Because our levels don't need to be that high, and the monsters here just really don't give enough experience for it to be worthwhile. No. I thought we were going to get out of here without another encounter, but that's okay. So yeah, but typical to the Lunar games, running can be a little bit difficult in this version as opposed to Silver Star and Silver Star Story. If I can't run on the 3rd try, then we just wipe the floor with these monsters. Thank you. Yeah, there's always somebody kind of working on magic school and then it stopped. Or walking school, I guess, depending on what you've seen. So, talking about their trip, Alex is kind of stunned that he got the dragon ring from Quark. But we're all tired, and we're gonna go recharge at the Althena statue. Obligatory Althena statue tutorial. Anytime you go up to one, you can be fully restored, of course. So, everybody's gonna go their own separate ways for the time being, and Alex and Luna are like, oh hey, we gotta get ready for the festival. So this is also a little bit different, and you actually get to see them performing at the festival before Alex decides to embark on his quest. We don't talk about Dragon Song. So they have a wonderful festival performance in like that 5 seconds. But Alex is still thinking about what happened with Quark. So he goes up to the Dyne Monument to kind of think about stuff and what he wants to do next. This version actually does have 3 bromides. One for Luna, one for Jessica, and one for Mia. They do have to be unlocked. So where is the one you usually get for Mia is on Nash, in Nash's equipment. It's not in this version. It's pretty awful. Dragon Song is a pretty horrible game, and it's very Kuso-worthy. But Alex here is deciding he's going to go on his adventure and he's going to become a dragon master and meet the rest of the 4 dragons. Luna, at this point, decides that she's not really going to go with him, but she's going to support him because she loves Alec and all that good mushy stuff. And here she goes, she sees him off. But just as Luna is kind of lamenting her decision, Alex and her mom, because she's adopted, Alex's mom comes up as like, oh, you know, you should go with him if you really want to. There's no reason for you to stay here. You know, me and your dad will be fine. No problem. You can go right ahead. And Luna, being very appreciative, gives us another cutscene we don't actually get to see in Silver Star Story, which is this one. And we head back to the Weird Woods. That is kind of the idea of Kuso, yes. So Ramus is already here waiting for us, because he's going to sell that Dragon Diamond for major buck. Or I guess in this version, major silver. So just as we're getting ready to go through, Luna catches up to us. It's like, oh hey, I'm going to come with you, I decided. Unfortunately, monster ambush. But Lake is here to save him. Thankfully, because Lake will just wipe the floor with these doggos. Sporting his very stylish beret there. Nice, quick, easy win. And this is good too, because my limit break gauges for Alex and Luna are still filled. So we find out about Lake, and he's like, oh hey, what are you kids doing here? You know, it's dangerous to be here. And we tell him all about our journey to go become the next Dragon Master. And he's like, well, you know, just make sure that you stay safe and make sure that you protect your friends there. In particular, he wants us to protect Luna the most, but that's okay because Alex is super psyched that they're going to travel together and we're going to move on. Game Boy Advance version, because I know this run and I like the sprite work in this game, and you get a little bit extra in terms of certain things over the Sega CD version. Also, playing the Sega CD version requires me to figure out where my cables are. So we get to safe, and we find out that there's a bunch of pirates causing misery here, and they've kidnapped Nash. So, as opposed to the Silver Star Story version, Nash has been kidnapped by pirates rather than finding him by the old witch's hut. So, gonna buy a sword for Alex so that he's gonna do some major damage. Because, of course, he is my main damage dealer for the time being. And we're gonna check out what's going on in this town because we travel with Nash for, I guess, a little bit. And, we kind of care about him, I guess. Sort of. But as we go looking for information, we find some pirates, we're going to hide from them, and then we're going to figure out how we're going to get on the ship and rescue Nash. This doesn't really cut a lot out, per se, story-wise, but it does make the dungeons a lot shorter and more manageable. It also does not have the voice-acted cutscenes, so that cuts out like an hour. But yeah, so we talked to this bartender and he says, well, if you're really looking for help, why don't you go talk to the dock master and he can maybe give you a little bit more information. So we're gonna go talk to this guy in here and figure out how we can stow away on the ship. The voice acting is really good in the PlayStation 1 version. I agree. And I do miss it in this version. But the memory on the Game Boy Advance card is just not enough to include that stuff. So you get the pretty pictures, and that's about it. So story-wise, Luna decides, hey, you know, we can stow away in like these barrels and tell them we're giving them apples. You know, because pirates have to eat fruit and get vitamin C and stave away scurvy. And they're very happy to take the barrels. Unfortunately, they roll them down the piers with us inside of them. But we're on the ship. We're gonna go kick some pirate booty. So I am going to try my darndest to hold on to Luna's limit break, but more often than not, the pirates kind of wreck her because she does not have a lot of defense and she does not have a lot of HP. But the last thing I want is for Alex to die before the second fight. That is always the bad thing. So I need to make sure that he at least stays alive even if she does not. And you will see why when we get to the second fight. They look like 4 Zeldas. Yeah, so Alex's main attack is that sword dance. It's supposed to be sword dance. I don't know why they couldn't be bothered to put the W in, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. And you might think, but RPG, look, you're using up all of your MP, and it's only the first pirate fight. And I will say to you that it doesn't matter, because awesome things can happen in this game. So this game has a nice little gimmick, where I can save the game, load the file, and all of my HP and MP will be restored. And I don't have to do a darn thing. And the reason that we want Alex's limit break filled is because we're going to use his limit break here, because it's going to be super effective.
So, you keep your limit break, but you also get HP MP restore.
Yep.
That's convenience.
It is super duper convenient. I mean, if the limit break wasn't filled to begin with, you get nothing, but if it's already there, then you get to keep it. Alright, but the pirates are down. We still have Luna's limit break gauge, just in case. And we finally find Nash. Tied upside down to the mast. I don't know why they wanted to tie him upside down, but whatever. It just makes it funnier. To be completely fair. So Null gets him loose, but since he's upside down, well, when you cut somebody loose upside down, they're gonna fall on their head. Luckily, Nash's hair is like a helmet, so he's fine. Totally fine. So now that we've rescued Nash, now we need to get out of here. But, well, head pirate captain's here. We gotta wreck him. So you're gonna see a lot of sword dance in this game. But 3 rounds of sword dance should get rid of the pirate captain here. It is just Nash, and he does deserve it, because Nash is terrible. So for funsies, I'm gonna use Luna's limit break, which is extremely OP. Jessica is in Lunar 1. So, Luna's limit break restores all of your HP, all of your MP. It is just super broken. But unfortunately, because we don't attack with Luna much, and that's really the only way it kind of fills up, we don't get to use it too often. There is a whole Jess and Kyle fiasco in this one. And this should be the end of the Pirate Captain right here. Beautiful. Magical Weapon Nash is still in this version, but not quite to the same capacity. So we get levels. Everybody's happy. We're gonna party and celebrate that the pirates have been defeated. Everybody's gonna eat and drink to their heart's content, and then they're gonna have cheesecake for dessert. Because cheesecake is best pie. So with saved, our intrepid heroes are gonna sail off to Meridia. So there's no indecision at this point for Luna because she's already had her point of indecision back in Berg. I mean, Ramus is a good meat shield, so... So there's no boat song, per se, but there's boat la la la. Yeah, well, I mean, at least you get the boat la la la. That's better than nothing, right? So Nash goes on his way. He's gonna go talk to some people, and we'll catch up with him later. He thanks us for rescuing him reluctantly, very reluctantly. And Ramus, of course, is gonna go find a place to sell his gigantic dragon diamond. And we're gonna go see Master Mel, because he's one of the 4 heroes that originally helped Dragon Master Dine. So of course we want to meet him. So that's Master Mel. He is a beast man. And he is also an extremely powerful fighter, and he challenges Alex to a one-on-one duel that I don't think it's possible to really win unless you're level 99 at the beginning of the game. But this fight is pretty unwinnable, and it doesn't matter anyway, so we just make a nice quick 2-turn, Mel mashes Alex, and we're good. So he tells us to go have a look around, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna head over to Black Rose Street, which is where all of the super awesome people from Vane gather when they want to come to Meridia. This game is awesome. I highly recommend it. It is very cute, and it's a lot faster than the regular Lunar games, if you want something a little bit quicker to play. So here we find Nash talking to this strange fortune teller lady. Very strange fortune teller lady. But Nala's a little creeped out by her. And so is Luna, because when she asks Luna if she wants her to read your fortune, she's like, no, I'm good. And then Nash tells us, well, if Ramus is looking for a place to sell his diamond, he can probably find a place in the Central Plaza. So we're off to Ross's shop, and we're gonna go find Ramus. I know, I trust her completely. She's totally fine. So So we find Ramus arguing with the guy about how much to get for the Dragon Diamond. And we're gonna purposely refuse his offer a bunch of times. And then we're gonna glitch the game out. So we basically refuse him until he offers to give us this master book at the same time, which is worth a nice chunk of money. Of course, Dross doesn't come back. We know that he's absconded with the Dragon Diamond, but we're going to take time and we're going to do some item duplication. So I am going to equip the Master Book. I'm going to take a step. I'm going to unequip the Master Book. I'm going to save. And then load. And now, I thought I took that Master Book off. Oh, look, I've got 2 of them now. So, we're gonna dupe some Master Books and make a lot of money. So this game has a weird little glitch. The memory is not so good, and you can actually lose items this way also. So by saving immediately and equipping and unequipping and moving around within very quick succession of each other, items can either be duplicated because it thinks it's still there, or completely lost because, well, it thought it was there and it wasn't. So I've actually lost my healing ring by doing this accidentally. So it should be just one more time. So that we have 8 Master Books altogether. Oops. Of course, if you exit this menu after unequipping the book from, or whatever item it is from Alex, it does not work. You have to do it within one fell swoop. So we should have 8 Master Books in our inventory now. Let me just make sure. Yes. Okay, so we're going to sell those Master Books, and we're going to buy some items and some weapons and some armor. Unfortunately, bad thing about this game is, well, you can only buy and sell things one at a time, so we're going to be here a little bit. This is probably the worst thing about this game, is having to buy things one at a time. And then having lag on top of it. For your input on this. We're going to get some mental gum to recharge MP down the line. We don't need too many of those, though. We don't really need too many healing drops because, well, we're going to be OP soon. But what we do need a whole lot of is perfume. Perfume works the way marbles do. I forget which number marble it is, but the way marbles do in Breath of Fire 1. So they keep encounters away until the perfume wears off. Unfortunately, just like in Breath of Fire 1, it does not tell you when it wears off. So you kind of have to keep checking, or you have to know approximately how many perfumes it takes to go through a certain area. Now, they do stack a little bit. So you can stack, I think it's about 5 or 6 at a time. Marble 3s, thank you. You can stack, I think, 6 at a time, and they will last you until you go to a different area. So I am just going to completely stock up on perfumes so that we're good for a little while and you don't have to see this horrible menuing for a while. Alright, so we're good. So now I'm going to go buy some weapons and armor. Yeah, basically a Pokemon Repel. But yeah, every step you take, basically, the perfume wears off a little bit. So I'm going to get some stronger armor for Alex. The rest of you, I'm sorry, you don't get anything. But that's okay, because we're going to get you some cool rods to use as items for the next fight. Oops. Repel is probably a little bit better. Honestly, I couldn't say. It has been many years since I played Breath of Fire 1, so I don't know if it has buy one item at a time. We're gonna get 1 Aqua Staff, and we're gonna get 3 Flame Rods. So even though you can use the flame rods as an item, as soon as one person uses it, it's not available to the next person. And because, well, I got 3 people in my party, I want to have 3 flame rods. And then the last thing is we're going to get Alex a better sword. And then we're going to go complain to Master Mel that Dross stole our diamond and he's not going to be too happy with us. Alright, so a broadsword for Alex. And let's equip everything. Alright, let's go. But it's okay. I promise you that if Ramus dies, I won't shed a tear. It's all good. So in talking to Mel about Dross, well, he kind of tells us that we should have kept a better eye on our diamond, and now it's up to us to go after him. And basically what this does is it gives us permission to go into the sewers where Dross went. Because if you try to talk to the lady behind the counter before talking to Master Mel, she doesn't let you through. So here will be a very, very prime example of a dungeon being much shorter. But we're gonna put some perfume on first. And the perfume should help us avoid all the encounters going through here. We don't really need the extra levels. Also, the hitboxes on stairs and such is really wonky in this game. Because you can literally enter them from totally random places. Doors also fall into this. So we find Dross, we order him to give us our diamond back, but Dross is not having any of that, and he's gonna sick his little sewer dragon after us. And we're just gonna keep using flame rods and hope that they make contact, because they don't always. So Rinrin has a little over 800 HP. It's not too long of a fight, but I would prefer if Alex and Luna both stayed alive. Oh, Alex definitely, but Luna would be nice also. So I'm gonna try to keep her alive here. If Ramus dies towards the end of the fight, it's really not a big deal. I would prefer he last a little bit. Of course, you kill Luna. Thank you. But that's okay! Null to the rescue! Thanks, Null. You're the best. So, unlike Silver Star, where Null will restore your characters at the end of each fight, before you get experience, if your character is dead at the end of a fight, they don't really get the experience. It would be really good if you wanted to kill Ramus, though, Rinrin. I'd be okay with that. No, not Luna, Ramus. Rinrin, please. Well, I can tell you this is played on a Super Game Boy plugin for my Super Nintendo. But Rinrin should be pretty close to dead here. You could have killed Ramus, and it would have been great. You were so close. But that's right. At least it isn't Rah Rah, but Rah Rah is Sue's move in Grandia, and that's best move, because you get Puffy. So, in his infinite sneakiness and money-grubbing ways, Ramus says, well, to make amends for all of this, you're just gonna give me your store. And so Dross reluctantly has no choice, and agrees. And it seems like that fortune teller lady was spying on us. I don't know if we should trust her. So Ramus is going to stay here and talk to Dross and hammer out some details. And we're going to go brag to Mel that we did a good job. There is so much back and forth with Mel in this version. But basically, it's like, oh, hey, we did the thing. And Mel suggests, well, you know, why don't you head to Dine? Why don't you head to Vane? Because Dine also went to Vane, and you can meet one of the other heroes, Lamia. Well, in order to get to Vane, we kind of need Nash, unfortunately, so let's go find Nash. Maybe he's over here on Black Rose Street again. Exactly. Okay, the lady was just there to ensure that we were okay. That's right. So we should totally still trust her. Yes, absolutely. So Nash isn't here, but she tells us that he went to find us. Also, NPCs in this game are trolls. They will suddenly dart into your path just to make you walk around them. I saw you, guy in the hat. I saw you try to get in front of me there. So we find Nash here back at the shop, and it is now Ramus's shop. And Nash invites us along to go with him back to Vane. Ramus, of course, says he's going to stay here and run the shop, but wishes us good luck. And he hopes we become a Dragon Master. And he's like, oh, you can always come back here if you want to buy stuff. Thanks, Ramus. You're super helpful. So we're going to head to the Spring of Transmission because technically Vane is a flying city. You don't get to see the little cutscene here, but Vane is flying, and therefore you cannot just walk right up to it. You have to teleport. Unfortunately, something seems to be going wrong with this teleporter. So as opposed to the usual story where it's, oh, you have to go through the Cave of Trials the first time you go to Vane, it's, oh, hey, the magic teleporter isn't working, and we have to go to Vane this way. So you still go through the Cave of Trials, but for a different reason. And we have to figure out what's causing the transporter to not work, basically, before we can get out of here. This is also going to be a grind point. I need to get Alex to level 12 so that he can get the Vigor attack, Vigor spell, I guess, in this case. There is a boss coming up in which you do not use Luna to fight with, and even though Luna has a power boost, she won't be in the fight with you to use it, so I need Alex to get his power boost so that he can use it in battle. Unfortunately, that does mean that he has to be level 12. So what we're really looking to see is ice pups and not butterflies. Butterflies are evil, and they will wreck your face. And they will eat your cheesecake. So I'm gonna really, really hope that I find some ice pups here. Mushrooms are okay, we can fight mushrooms. Because we can use the flame rods to just destroy them. Not heal gun. Flame rod, there we go. I don't remember which company made this, unfortunately. The box for this game is buried behind a bunch of other boxes. Yeah, the butterflies in this game are really, really nasty. Honestly, in general, in a lot of the Lunar games, especially the PlayStation version, flying creatures of any kind are all pretty horrible. To be fair. Yes, anything that flies in an RPG is a jerk. And these butterflies are absolutely no exception. No, go away, butterflies. We don't want you. I would really like some ice pups, though. That would be real nice. Can I please have some ice pups, please? Ice pups give you a ton of experience, which is kind of why I'm looking for them. Also, it kind of doesn't matter if Luna and Nash die, but yeah, Alex is the one who needs the levels here, but Having them die doesn't really make enough of a difference for me to just want to kill them off. But we are getting close to the end of this dungeon, and I still haven't had a single ice pup. That's not an ice pup. Those are butterflies. Game, please. There we go. There's an ice pup. Cat, please. So, ice pups are worth a whole bunch of experience, which is kind of why I wanted to find them. It's even better if you can get 2 in a battle, but for now, I will settle for 1. Because it is more than I have gotten before. It would be very cool if they did a Lunar remake. I would definitely... Not a remake, but a remaster, rather. I'd be all for that. Yeah, so 168 experience as opposed to like 20 to 30 experience. The ice pups make a big difference. They're not like the metal slimes of this game, but just for this particular dungeon, they are the best things that you can possibly ask for when trying to gain levels. But only for this dungeon. Alright, so... I'm gonna... I am really gonna hope for 2 more ice pup packs, and then we can go on to fight the next boss. But yeah, this portion, because you never know when you're gonna hit ice pups in battle, is a little bit of RNG. Also, very similarly to the original Lunar, you can run away singly from battles as opposed to as a group. Nash, you want to kill this thing? Thanks. Having a little extra HP on Nash is good also because, again, the boss fight coming up is only going to be him and Alec, and it makes it a little bit tougher. The PSP version also makes some changes, but the most notable change to the PSP version, and I've only played it once, but it is the voice acting. I really don't enjoy the voice acting, the new voice actors, because just nostalgia goggles. I'm very used to the original voice actors. Especially because Galleon is the same on Sega CD and on PlayStation. Ooh, another ice dog. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't remember, like I said, it's been a while, so I don't remember a lot about the PSP version. The graphics are pretty enough. But yeah, I do remember that they did change some story plot, and, like I said, the voice acting. Alright, so 1 more ice pup should give me the last level that I need here. So, bless RNG for another ice pup. I don't know if I'd want a flat-out remake of Eternal Blue. I am a very big Leo fangirl. Ooh, double ice pup. Thanks, game. And I don't want Lord Leo's voice to be changed. Especially because, yeah, when we got... The last time we got any sort of new Lunar, we got Dragon Song. I don't think anybody wants that again. I don't know, Ron Farr's voice actor is not terrible, but... Anyway, we're up to level 12, we have the Vigor, and now we can go, destroy the boss. It's still gonna take a bit, like, This boss has a lot of HP. It's a big HP jump from the last fight to this fight. It's like a almost 500 HP game. I am also going to put rings on Alex. Heal ring and dragon ring for a little bit of extra stats. And then we're going to do that nice save and reload trick to recover my HP and MP. And then we're going to go fight the evil Mist Lady. So yeah, so Luna seems to be the most affected by this strange magical force here. So we tell her basically to sit the fight out, and we're gonna buff up Alex a couple of times. So technically, 2 times is the stack for either not agility up, attack up, or defense up. So we're gonna use the vigor spell twice. Miss Lady, please don't do that again. Her doing her AoE is not the best thing. And we're getting a little extra damage from Nash with the Aqua Rod. His lightning spells really don't do better damage, so I find it just better to use the Aqua Rod. I'm gonna have him recharge Alex's HP, because if Alex dies, I have to do Vigor again 2 times, and it's just gonna waste time and waste turns. So if Nash dies, fine. If Alex dies, that's bad. And this is also where we got some of the mental gum and the healing drops, so that way Nash can keep Alex topped off for MP and HP. Dragon Song was a bit too simple for combat. Yeah, the combat in Dragon Song was very simple, but they made some terrible choices, like monsters that are able to break your equipment. That is probably one of the worst decisions ever. No, the buffs do not gradually wear off in this version like they do in the other version. Which is kind of nice, actually, but for the most part, most of the fights are not going to last too long, so it's not really an issue. Also, you can see Null is much more useful in this version too, and he recovers your dead companions much more frequently than he does in Silver Star Story. Yeah, not being able to target enemies is bad also, but I still think the mechanic of having your weapons and armor broken is the worst. Especially because the only way to get money in that game is to go on errands, and you can't just get money from fighting battles, which makes it a lot worse. You go on all of these errands to get money to do stuff, and then the monster breaks your equipment in one hit. It's so terrible. So this Miss Lady has almost 1300 HP, so we're gonna be here for a couple of more turns. Also, Nash, you keep dying. Please stop. I would prefer your HP stays up a little bit, so that you can help kill this chick here. Alright, this is good. So we can actually use the Aqua Rod this turn. Every little bit that Nash is able to chip away is less turns that we have to use Alex for. And there we go. Mist Lady is down. That is definitely one of the longest fights in the game. I like the PS1 version the most because I like what it does with the story enhancement. But The Sega Saturn version definitely holds a special place in Sega CD version holds a special place in my heart because it is the first time I played it as a kid. Also, heck these butterflies for not letting me run. Please let me run. Please let me run. The card drops from bosses are fairly consistent. I know it's not 100% chance, but they are fairly consistent. Really? You're not gonna let me run from this fight? This is why we don't like butterflies, folks. Fine. You want to die so badly? I will grant your wish. After 3 turns, if they don't let you run, then you just wreck them. That's all. Nobody plays the Saturn version unless they can speak and read Japanese, because it was never translated. It was at a time where a lot of the Sega Saturn RPGs were not making their way over here, and so therefore it was not a translated game. Yeah, it is. And my speed is pretty decent right now, but it's not top tier. But I'm gonna put some perfume on and just avoid the rest of the encounters down here. Like a smart person. So, Nash is a little confused as to why Luna was so affected by the magic, but he just kind of shrugs it off for the time being and takes us back. And then we're going to go to the goddess shrine for Luna to rest a little bit, because she is definitely not feeling so good after that whole magic draining ordeal. So here we meet Facia. Facia is the head of this particular shrine, and she helps us get Luna a nice, safe, comfortable place to rest. So Nash kind of pulls us aside and he's like, do you know why Luna was so affected? Does she have magic powers? Is she really powerful? And Alex like, no, I mean, she can sing really well and she can use some healing magic, but that's about it. So Nash kind of just trusts what Alex has to say and writes it off for the time being. I know, Nash confused? That never happens. Yeah, it was a thing about 2D RPGs and not wanting to translate 2D RPGs specifically, because Grandia 1 was also on Sega Saturn, so was Eternal Blue, and none of them got translated until they were brought over to the PlayStation. But, so Facia basically tells us to be careful. She gives Luna a charm so that she feels better, and we're gonna finally get to go to Vane. Well, you're quite welcome. I always like knowing the lore of my games. And Lunar is definitely one of my top-time favorites. So now that we are here in Vane, we're going to go check out the famous Magic Guild, courtesy of Nash, because he is a premier of the guild. Well, a junior premier, I guess, in this case. And he's like, oh, you just have to meet the premier Galleon. Because Galleon is also one of the 4 heroes. So you get to meet Lamia and you get to meet Galleon in one fell swoop. And then you'll have met 3 of the 4 heroes. So, Alex and Nall kind of want to look around the guild a little bit. So Nash brings Luna over to the waiting room so that she can still kind of rest. What do you mean, what's it about? Cheesecake is best pie. There's nothing that it has to be about. So Luna hears this music being played, and she finds this interesting musician back here playing the same song that Alex usually plays on his ocarina. And he tells her, oh, it's a song that Dine composed and that he used to play. She's like, oh, Alex never tells me anything. And she thinks that he's a little bit scary. But you know what? We're gonna go meet Mia, because Mia is adorable. Chocolate cheesecake is best cheesecake, no lie. So this is Mia. She is Lamia's daughter, and technically second in line for to rule the Magic Guild. Nash, of course, likes Mia a whole lot and is very unhappy that we're here in her bedroom and drags us away to go meet Galleon. Oreo cheesecake is also very tasty. So now that Nash is done yelling at us, we get to meet Galleon. I'm really sad we don't get to hear his voice, though. So, Galleon, we tell Galleon about the fact that we've spoken to Quark and that we're going to go see the rest of the dragon. And Galleon mentions, well, there's this rumor of a dragon master over in off an island from Lawn Village. And we should go check it out if we're going to be the next dragon master because, well, maybe this guy beat us to it. He also helps Luna feel better, finally, from the magic drain that happened at the transmission spring. So we're going to go check out this supposed dragon master. We're also going to... Well, we're going to do some more item duplication glitching first. So there is an OP item sold here called the Wind Boot. I'm going to sell some of my inventory also to kind of empty it a bit. So Wind Boots are super duper OP, and we're going to glitch enough for our whole party. So bear with me, because this is going to take a few minutes. So if you missed the glitch the first time around, enjoy. Yes, way too OP, but it's really nice, and it makes the rest of the game very easy. Oh, I need to do this first. So now I have 2 Wind Boots where I only had 1 before. Take them off. And then we're going to save and reload, and magically we will now have 4 Wind Boots. And we're basically going to do this until we have 14 Wind Boots in total. The Wind Boots give you a whole bunch of agility and strength. And so, whereas normally you would probably only do a few hundred damage with Alex's sword dance, we're going to be doing 999 for the rest of the game. And unless I get bad damage rolls. Okay, that's sick. Well, you have to take the step in between with the equipping and the unequipping, because that's kind of what makes... I don't know why it does it, but that's what makes the inventory be confused, is the whole that you took steps and unequipped and re-equipped in such quick succession while saving and reloading. But yeah, most duplication glitches in most games are fairly simple. I think this is 8. That's okay, we can check. So we need 14 because we need 4 to sell, and we need 10 to equip on our party members. And this is going to make the game, like I said, much easier. So I think One more time. But yeah, when I was working on some of the routing for this game, I actually lost my heal ring because I was doing stuff like this. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's what I need. Yeah. Oh, even 2 more extra. Okay, even better. So we're gonna sell 4 of those wind boots. We're gonna buy some armor. But only for Alex. Because, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Luna and Nash, but you don't need armor. I know, imagine if you could save and reload in real life. That would be pretty awesome. But we are gonna get Nash another rod. We're gonna get him the Media Rod. And then we're gonna equip everybody with the awesome. So Media Rod for you, some wind boots for you. And the sword for you. Fantastic. So now that we are well equipped, now we can go investigate the fake dragon mask. And for that, we need to pass through the Non's barrier. So, Non's barrier is much less deadly with perfumes. We don't have to worry about all of the horrible butterflies. Because, man, there are a lot of butterflies in this area. If you count the Saturn and PS1 versions as separate, then yes, 1 of 5. So interestingly, a little cutscene we're going to get treated to here, which you don't get in Silver Star Story. A nice little tiff between Jessica and Kyle. They really don't say anything specific other than Jessica yelling at Kyle not to tag along with her. Like, I didn't tell you to follow me, kind of a thing. And of course, Kyle just gets angry and broods in his room. So of course, when we go to ask the other guard to let us through, he's gonna be like, oh, well, this is what I'm talking about hitboxes for stairs and stuff being wonky. I just entered that from the left-hand side, and I should not have been able to do that. But yeah, the guard is going to tell us, I can't let you through without Kyle's permission, and he's in a bad mood because he had a fight with his girlfriend. But luckily, we don't have to chase him around the entire underground area drunk. He's just kind of chilling in his room. Yeah, stairs. But Kyle, very nicely, after hitting on Luna a little bit, decides to let us through the gate so that we can progress on to Lawn. And now we can go to the other half of the Nonza barrier, which is much shorter, so I don't need a full set of perfumes. Unless I want to walk in wonky ways or NPCs want to get in my way. Please don't get in my way, thank you. So now we get to Lon, and we're gonna get the best character. We're actually gonna get Jessica in our party. If you don't think Jessica is the best character, fight me. Because I love Jess. Jess is actually Mel's daughter, for those of you who might not know. And she's very feisty. She technically is a priestess, so she does come with a nice slew of healing magic. But she also comes with a set of claws. And if you're playing casually, she can be really OP. But she also came to investigate this fake Dragon Master, so she's gonna come with us to Lawn Island rather, and help us figure out if this guy is for real or not. This dungeon is also much nicer in this version, because there's no poison swamp to walk through. We just kind of gotta make our way north here. North and more north and more north and more north. Yeah, she's like a cleric that uses claws instead of a mace, basically. So we come across this supposed dragon master. He's like, oh, there's salmon dragons and pink dragons, and yeah, okay, dude, you're not a dragon master. That's a frog, and you're not a dragon master. So we're gonna power up Alex, because he's still our main damage dealer, and luckily we have Luna to help out this time, and we're just gonna defend with the other two. So in Silver Star Story, this is a super dangerous fight. Especially because when the frog jumps and does AoE, man, it just completely wrecks your party. But, luckily, he's not going to be around long enough to really do much damage here. This Frog Zard has 1,800 hit points. And I'm going to do that many per turn, so he's going to go down in 2 turns, even if he decides to jump on me like that. Doesn't she use a mace in the PlayStation version? I think you might be right about that. But in this version, she has claws. The OST is based upon the PS1 version. So the Frog Zard is down. And this guy is like, oh, how embarrassing, I'm so sorry. I will repent my evil ways, and we're gonna go back. And report all of this to Galleon. JT, I appreciate your pun. Yeah, it is mace, because Ronfar is also kind of a battle cleric, and he uses a mace also. But yeah, so Jessica also takes her leave now that we've gotten rid of the fake Dragon Master. But we're gonna have to walk our way back to Vane, unfortunately. There is no teleportation just yet. Soon, DM, but not yet. Yeah, each version has slightly different things, but I'd say this version changes the PlayStation story the least out of the two remakes, because this and Silver Star Harmony. Alright, let's put on some more perfume and let's get out of here. Jess is just adorable in general. I'm sorry, but she is. Jess is definitely my favorite of the Lunar characters. Come on, let's go. Ba-da-da-da. Probably gonna get one encounter before I leave this place, but that's alright. So, the nice thing about the wind boots, like I said, it gives you a major agility boost. So, running away... Oh, thanks, game, for proving me wrong! Running away was supposed to be easy. It wasn't. I would like Jean better if she had a better storyline. but she doesn't. Jean has a very thin premise, and even though she is a very powerful character, especially in the later part of the game, it just makes me dislike her. NPC is blocking my way where I can't even see it. So we've done the thing. We're gonna go report it to Galleon so he can give us a pat on the head and tell us that we are the best. Unfortunately, he's not here, and his assistant tells us that he's waiting for us in the Grand Hall so that we can meet Lamia, the head of the guild. So there is Lamia, Mia's mom. But she's like, I don't believe you want to be a dragon master, Alex. I believe that you just want to hurt the dragons and you want to hurt Althena, and she just arrests him on the spot without any evidence or anything else. Just like that. So Mia comes down to rescue us. She's like, I've thought for a long time that this woman, even though she looks like my mom, I don't think she is my mom. So they've taken Luna to the top of the Silver Tower, and we need to get her back. And there seems to be this strange woman in this other jail cell who is talking about Althena and the guild. We're going to take her with us, because she looks suspicious. Also, Mia feels really bad for her being in prison. Mia is just a very kind soul. So we're gonna go to the Silver Tower and we're gonna rescue our girlfriend. Nash, of course, tries to stop Mia. He's like, you're gonna get in trouble if you go in there. Your mom's not gonna be happy, but Mia talks him into going because, well, Mia can talk Nash into pretty much anything. Yeah, I don't know why the mask makes her unrecognizable. I always thought it was very strange. So a little quirk with the Silver Tower is that you cannot wield weapons inside of it, and whereas in Silver Star Story, you can do a little glitch to kind of get around that. You can't do that here, but, well, we got perfume. So we're just gonna go up the tower using the perfume to avoid the battles. I hate these little crevices that you can and can't fit through. But yeah, the monsters here are not very nice, especially since Alex does not have a sword to use. But this is fine, because we won't hit an encounter along the way. And as we get to the top of the tower, we're going to be treated to a little cutscene of Luna being forced to sing by Lamia, Galleon, Phaecia, and the fortune teller Royce. I don't know why the fortune teller is there, but why not, I guess, right? And they hear Luna singing. It's like, oh, it's such a sad song. We have to go rescue her. The sword in Sword Dance is apparently magic. So Mia is very upset about all of this, and she's like, you're not my mom! And she uses the Mirror of Althena, which doesn't work on Lamia, but works on the mysterious Masked Lady. And the Masked Lady reveals that she is actually the real Lamia. And these three transform. And you get Zenobia, Phaecia, and Royce, who are fairly much the leaders of the Vile Tribe. and then we have to fight these goons. So without any weapons, we're going to make use of Mia's magic and the meteor rod as an item that we got for Nash. And luckily, because the sword in Alex's attacks is magic, we're gonna boost his attack up a little bit first, because technically, without the sword, he still needs a bit of an attack boost. And then we're gonna wreck these pipers. If I had Alex's limit break gauge filled, this fight would be over in 3 turns, but unfortunately I do not. So it'll take a couple of extra turns. Not too big of a deal. Luckily, the pipers don't do too much damage. Because even though the boss battle music is playing, they're not really bosses. They're fake bosses. We've been lied to. It makes me really wish that Mia started off with a better AoE fire spell. But, if you don't know, Mia is a much better mage than Nash could ever hope to be. Sorry, Nash. Not sorry. And we're gonna wreck the last of these pipers. So yeah, this is a little bit of a slower fight, again without the sword, but that's fine. This should be the last turn. Mia doesn't have to know thunder. Fire and ice are so much better. Well, on the PlayStation, there's actually a really neat little gimmick, because you do get Luna for this fight. So if Luna sings there's a song that Luna sings that makes monsters run away, and because they're not really boss monsters, if she sings that song, they will run away, and you don't have to do the fight. But with all of this that happened, Galleon decides that he's been tricked, and now he's gonna go talk to Quark himself, so that he can find out what the heck is going on, because there are rumors of a magic emperor and all kinds of terrible stuff. So we get to accompany Galleon back Quark. Escape Litany. Thank you, Holy Smith. So we're gonna go back to Meridia, because Galleon is gonna, of course, pay his friend Mel a visit before he goes off. We don't really need any more items, so we can just go straight to Mel here. And I'm also going to do a smart thing right now, so I'm going to re-equip Alex's sword. And I'm going to take the wind boots off of Luna, although I do 2 extra wind boots, so it really doesn't matter anyway, but... muscle memory. So we find Jessica's here too, and Mel introduces us to his daughter Jessica, who we've totally never seen before. And even though Mel's like, but Jessica, we've seen you before, and she's like, no, shut up, you've never seen me before. Daddy, I'm gonna take them up to my room and talk to them. So we tell Jess about everything that happened in Vane, and that we're going to be accompanying Galleon back to Quark. So she lets us use the room for the night. Yeah, Mel is a little dumb in this point, but that's okay, because he's still cute. So Luna tells us about bad dreams. You don't actually get to see them in this version. And we're gonna say goodbye to Mel and go meet up with Galleon at the dock. Yeah, the only sad thing is it makes me wish that the Game Boy had a slightly better sound chip, because some of the tracks do get a little bit distorted on the Game Boy Advance sound chips. So Galleon pulls us aside. He's like, well, why do you want to be a Dragon Master? And instead of kind of answering his question, Alex tells him about how Quark asked him the same thing. And Galleon's just like, no, it's okay. You have time to decide. Don't worry about it. But we're back and safe. So we can make our way through the weird woods and back to Quark. I would definitely recommend the PlayStation version over this one, unless you only have a really short amount of time to play. Because this version is much shorter, even casually. So, extra little scene here that is not in the PlayStation version is we find this guy trying to kidnap a fairy. And if you know Lunar games at all, you know that Galleon really, really likes these creatures. And he takes care of them in his gardens and everything else. And so he always feels really bad when he sees anything bad happening to them. And he gets really, really angry that somebody would try to hurt one or kidnap one or sell it or anything else. And he's very not happy about the whole situation. It's like a small bit of insight into Galleon's personality and kind of his hatred for humanity, too, at the same time. Like, he really does not like the human race. Luckily, we don't have to go back to the tablets this time, and we can just go straight to the gates. But we are still going to try to avoid as many battles as we possibly can. Because they just take time. So Luna sings her song again to open the gates, and then we'll go inside and call Quark's name. Galleon is, just like Nash, kind of stunned that Luna's singing could open these gates. All of the 4 heroes have 999 HP when you get them in battle. But we come back to Quark, and Galleon is like, hey, is this girl the girl from all those years ago? And Quark confirms that this is true. And we get, not Galleon, dear Quark, Magic Emperor Galleon. But without the laughing and the running away. So he captures Quark for his evil deeds, and now he's going to take Luna too. Yeah, I missed the laughing and the running away. But you get this nice little extra scene where Alex is promising that he will protect Luna. Always. Pinky promise. And we wake up safe in our beds, and it turns out that Lake actually came and carried us here, and he's waiting at Dine's monument to talk to us. Actually, I took the wind boots off of Luna, so rip. So it doesn't matter which thing you say to Dine here. You can tell him that we're going to beat the Emperor or that we're going to save Luna. But he basically, you know, wishes us luck, tells us that we need to now go see the rest of the 4 dragons and become the next Dragon Master in order to do so. And he gives us the Dragon Wing. We don't know what they do, but we're going to try them out. So, using the wings, we're gonna find ourselves in Meridia. There's a battle in progress, there's monsters everywhere, and Jess is kicking butt, because she's Jess. But this is the reason that we wanted to take equip the sword back on Alex, because of this fight. It's not a boss fight, but it takes a long time if you don't have the sword equipped, as opposed to one attack with blast, and they're dead. So Jessica really doesn't have any idea what's going on, aside from the fact that monsters have invaded the city. We tell her that Galleon became Magic Emperor Galleon and kidnapped Luna. And then we see that there's a big scuffle at the mansion, and Jessica's like, oh, I get it. They're gonna go after my dad because he's one of the 4 heroes. So help me go save my dad. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go save Mel. Unfortunately, there's blocks and boxes blocking the way, so we have to go the long way around, which is silly. In the Silver Star story version, at least you have the monsters that can plow through the boxes for you. So this guy tells us that Master Mel is in the fight for his life down in the dojo. We gotta go save him. I'm only listening to Jessica, so I'm going by what she says. She wants to go save him, we're gonna go save him. But being the good father that he is, Mel is gonna protect us. Protect his daughter, and gets turned to stone in the process. If you would like, you can put your F's in chat for Mel. Jessica tries to heal him, but she can't, and she's like, well, the only way to do this is to get rid of Zenobia, because she's the one that cast the spell. Why don't we go to Vane and ask for Mia and Nash's help? So we're gonna go to Vane and do so. Because nothing bad would be happening in Vane, right? Who would attack Vane? See, look, there's Mia and Nash, all cheerful. We tell them what happened, and like, no, nobody's here yet. Oh, well, now they are. So, this fight, in all versions, is terrible except for this version because of the boots. And it's only because of the boots. This monster, especially in the Silver Star story version, is ridiculously OP with that AoE attack, and it does so hecking much damage. But in this version, even if it does its AoE attack, it's fine because, again, we really just need Alex to do damage that Alex does so well. And we're also going to use Nash for one turn. So one more sword dance. And Meteor Rod, and this thing should go down. Yeah, literally a giant space wave from nowhere. So, Grand Doom is down. Vane is safe. Meridia is safe. Unfortunately, Una's not safe. So we tell them about Magic Emperor Galleon, and they can't believe it, but they're gonna go talk to Lamia and see what we can do about all of this. She's like, well, Mel's been turned to stone, and I'm still pretty weak from having the mask on. So really, the only thing that you can do is go become the next Dragon Master, which is the same thing that Lake told us. You know, we should really just have listened to Lake. I'm gonna take some time, and I'm gonna buy some more perfumes. Because we got a lot of dungeons coming up. So we're gonna take some time and buy perfumes. One at a time. Game, I don't know why that you thought that this was a good idea, but this is the only thing I don't like about this game. But I am gonna fully stock up, so again, we can go a good little while without having to buy any. We shouldn't, after this, we shouldn't have to buy any till almost the end of the game, which is really good. But not running into the encounters and running the risk of not running away from the encounters is 100% worth having all of the perfumes. Let's go. So we're gonna head to Nanza, but thankfully, because of the dragon wings, we don't have to walk through the Nanza barrier again. Why is my dragon ring in such a weird place? And it seems like there is a kidnapping in progress here. These beasts in Zenobia are trying to capture this lovely lady. Oh, wait. That's a very strong lady. But it's not a lady, it is Kyle trying to fool Zenobia so that he can wreck her face. And we're gonna pick up the last member of our party, which is Kyle. And Kyle is, we've encountered him before, but now he's actually gonna fight. He is pretty strong, and he is gonna be our second damage dealer of the game. He's not as strong as Alex, especially once Alex gets his boost. But he's still pretty impressive. Unfortunately, Kyle is kind of a drunk. He's a bandit and he's a drunk. But he's, at heart, a very nice guy, and he does do the right thing in the end. So Zenobia runs away, and we tell Kyle about the whole situation with the Magic Emperor and Mel being turned to stone, and Kyle's like, hey, you know what? I'll come with you. We're gonna go find the Red Dragon. It's down south of here in the Meridia Stone. And I am also not going to forget to equip wind boots on Kyle this time, because that would be bad. Not equipping the wind boots on Kyle, like, cuts his damage by a quarter. And it makes battles a lot slower when you forget to do that. Yeah, Kyle also, Kyle is kind of slow compared to Alex, I agree with you. Perfumes, there we go. So we're gonna head south into the next area so that we can go meet the Red Dragon. Man, I love those perfumes. Yes, when I was practicing one of the runs, I forgot to equip the wind boots on Kyle for a few fights, and it did not turn out well. So here we are in Reza. Reza is a town of thieves, and, well, that one just stole our dragon wings. So we're gonna go have to talk to the Thieves Guild to try to get them back. Yes, we are going to meet Fake Ruby, yes. So we're going to talk to the bartender, who is the head of the guild, and he's like, oh, you need to pass a test in order to join, and you can find the test giver in Meridia. And we're also going to just talk to Lake real quick so that he can laugh at us that we got our dragon wings stolen. Thanks, Lake. You're super helpful. So the Meridia Woods in this version are so much better with perfumes. A nice short run with no encounters and no dangerous bees flying at us. Because the bees in this woods in Silver Star Story, holy shnikes, are they dangerous. So we're gonna find the person who gives the out the Thieves Guild test. This guy in the boat will tell us where we can find him. Although Kyle kind of went to search already. And we're gonna go find them in the restaurant. And Kyle will already be drunk, because he's Kyle. Talking to the test giver. And essentially, what it boils down to is that all they have to do is go to a place called Damon's Spire and get the Thieves Guild crest from Damon. And I always found it a little weird because Damon is supposed to be this great sage, so I'm unsure why he has the Thieves Guild crest, but whatever. He's also going to tell us some nice, useful information and be the sage that he is. Also, there's no Master Mel fight in this game. So Kyle doesn't even get to show off, which feels kind of bad. I like when Kyle shows off. So, Damon's Spire is a set of switches and doors that you have to go through, knowing which switches to hit and not to bother with. NPC, please get out of my way. And each time you get to the end of the floor, basically you either have to answer a question or you have to do some task. So, Mia is chosen to answer the first question over Nash because she's smarter. And even if you choose the wrong person, the correct person will step in and answer it correctly anyway. So it's not like you have to go back and do the whole thing all over again. You just waste a little bit of time with dialogue boxes. All right. This one. And unfortunately, one of my favorite scenes, which is the clay building, you don't get to see in this version, and it makes me kind of sad. Also, my perfume ran out. I need to refill it. The PlayStation one is my favorite, but the Sega CD one is also worth a playthrough, just because it's so wildly different from the others. And this one is good if you're looking for a quick, casual RPG. So this time it's Nash and Kyle. Nash knows the right answer. Kyle is just kind of an oaf. So we're gonna go hit those buttons. And we're gonna go hit those buttons. Those buttons. Go back around. Nope. That was that. There we go. That's the last set of buttons. And now we get, instead of a question, they tell us, oh, you have to leave a hostage behind here. And we're like, no, we can't do that. Everybody is equally important. This is a nice abbreviated menu because in the Silver Star Story version, you have to literally go through everybody like, no, I don't want to leave this person behind, and I don't want to leave this person behind. Well, then who should we leave behind? I don't want to leave anybody behind. Why would you want to leave people behind? That's not good. More perfume. We're almost to the top of this tower. So now we come across this guy who's sick. And he treats Mia very rudely, tells her to go away. But then when he sees that Jessica is a priestess, he's like, oh, hey, heal me. And we have to help him, even though we don't want to, because he was rude to Mia. And we get to progress to the last floor. Buttons. Buttons. So, in the last area, usually there's a place where you can make a clay figurine, depending on which character you pick, and each character makes a different figurine. And when you go through it, it turns out that Alex's figurine, and he makes a Luna, is the right answer to Damon's question. In this version, it's just Alex's song that is the answer to Damon's question. And I really, really miss the clay building and the silliness. But yeah, Damon tells us where we can find the Red Dragon. And we're good to go. And we have the Thieves' Crest, so we can get out of here. Thankfully, we have Jessica, who can cast Escape now. But since the Red Dragon is over in that volcano there, we're gonna need a way to get in. But first, we need to get our dragon wings back. So with the Thieves' Crest in hand, we can finally go get our dragon wings back. I don't know, it's a... so you asked if the dragon is Ruby's mom or dad. It is definitely another female dragon, but the years and the difference in story is 1,000 years. So I don't know how that actually translates to dragon lineage. Alright, so we got our dragon wings back. We're gonna stock up on some armor for both Alex and Kyle. And we're also going to pick up an ice sword for Alex as well. From the same guy who stole our dragon wings. So we're kind of paying back a little bit by buying his stolen goods. Kyle, unfortunately, does not get a new sword just yet. And as we come back upstairs, we hear the Guildmaster's daughter talking to Royce. And, well, nothing good can happen when Royce is around. And the dad rushes in just in time to see his little girl kidnapped. He's like, oh, you were looking for the Red Dragon? I know a guy who has blueprints for an engine. Come with me. So this guy gives us the blueprints, these, so that we can go rescue the daughter. Unfortunately, we have to find somebody to build us a balloon to use to fly to the volcano first. So there is another city that we have not visited yet, which is Iluk. And Iluk is a town of scientists and engineers, including the guy who is going to build the balloon. In fact, he was looking for his balloon blueprint so he could finish his balloon. But he tells us, well, there's still something missing. I need you to get a fluff ball from the garden so that the balloon will actually fly. So go talk to the gardener, have him let you in, and then go get a fluff ball. And this is also kind of nice. I really like the abbreviated dungeons because some of the monster encounters that you get in other dungeons in the other game, in the PlayStation version, they can be really brutal. And some of the monsters in here are no exception to that, especially because there are lots of flying things in here. I am not a Jersey girl. I am a New York girl. But close. So throw on the perfumes, go find ourselves a nice pink fluff ball, get over here. We're basically gonna let Alex and Kyle just kind of wreck everything. Because they're good at that. Oh no, it's not. You're fine. Alright, so one more round here. So Jess can do a little bit of damage with the claws, but it's not enough to actually want to put her in battle. Cheesecake is the best pie. I agree with you. Alright, so we got our fluff ball. Now we can get our balloon. So Jess, take us out. No, unfortunately, the Game Boy version is not as good as the original, but it is better than the PSP version. So the balloon is done. It's ready to go, and now we can fly off and meet the Red Dragon. So even though we're in the volcano, they notice that it's not actually hot. And everything is kind of just a mirage from the Red Dragon's magic. Which is good for us, because who wants to die in a volcano? That doesn't really sound like a good way for Alex to end his quest. The sword-wielding monsters and the flame balls in this cave are fairly terrible and dangerous, but thanks to the perfume, we're gonna avoid all of that, and we're gonna come up to the next nasty encounter, which is the bronze dog. Now, in both the Sega CD version and the PlayStation 1 version, bronze dogs are nothing to take lightly, and they are actually quite dangerous. They are a little bit better here, but not a lot, because they can still do 2 rounds of AoE damage to you, and they can still pack quite a punch, as you can see right there. One more time to Vigor. I'm actually gonna start using Nash to heal up a little bit here, because if Alex dies, I have to revigor, and that's not a good thing. And Nash is good because Nash has the most speed, so he will usually be able to get healing items out much more quickly than everybody else. Alright, so now I can start knocking these dogs down. Now that we're all strengthened up. We also want to make sure Kyle doesn't die, because same thing as with Alex. If Kyle dies, I have to re-put the attack up buffs on. So each dog has 1900 HP, so they're not too bad, but their attacks make them very dangerous. Also, to comment on that, New York Cheesecake and Green Tea Cheesecake. Green Tea Cheesecake is my new fave cheesecake after having it a couple of months back. Oh my gosh, it is so good. If you have not tried green tea cheesecake, I highly recommend it. Because cheesecake is best pie. So 1 dog down. One doggo to go. And it should go down fairly handily in this round because I have both Alex and Kyle hitting the same dog, and Alex has already done 1 turn of damage to it. There we go. So yeah, still a slightly dangerous fight, but definitely not as bad as it is in the other versions of this game. But now that we have defeated Royce's bronze doggos, now we can go see the Red Dragon and claim our reward. And Royce, every time you see Royce, she gives a little fortune, and she's like, well, the Red Dragon's light is no more. So, unfortunately, she did get here before us. And even though we still see the Red Dragon here, her body has been destroyed, and really it's just her magic that left over that we're seeing. But the Red Dragon says, you were brave, you overcame my trial, and here, have a piece of dragon equipment. Now you have 2 dragons to go to become the Dragon Master. Null, unfortunately, is extremely unhappy about the fact that one of his friends has been killed, with the Red Dragon no longer being around. And he's like, "This is terrible, Alex. Like, I feel awful about all of this." And now we're gonna fly back to Reza. Unfortunately, well, this balloon is not all that good. And, well, we're gonna crash. At least you still get to see a little bit of that scene. And the thieves make short work in bringing the balloon back to their guild. So now that we're actually in one piece and we live through the crash, Lake comes to laugh at us, because of course he does. And, well, maybe he knows where the next dragon is. He says, "Oh yeah, glad you're alive, and the blue dragon is supposed to be near a town called Lighton." Oh, and I'm being silly, and I should use my dragon wings and go right to Meridia, so I don't have to walk back. So, in the original, you walk across a bridge that breaks and everybody falls into the water. Here, it's just a ferry system, and the ferryman just tells you, "Oh, I'm not ready yet, and come back later." But now that we've hit the right plot triggers, now he's ready, and he'll take us to the other side. Now we can progress to Lighton, where the Blue Dragon Shrine is. There is a little forest down there, and whereas in the PlayStation version it has the girls' bathhouse, in this version all it has is some rare cards. So it is definitely not worth the energy and the effort to go through it. So here is Lighton, a town of song, but their song is broken. And apparently the chief here has been dreaming of a green-eyed dragon boy who wants to be the Dragon Master, who will fix their music for them. So, unfortunately, because the Blue Dragon Shrine is summoned with music, we have to fix the music before we can summon the Blue Dragon. So we're gonna go through this nice little cave, and we're gonna fix their music for them. Because we're just nice people like that. And we just kind of want to get into the Dragon Shrine. I highly encourage all of chat to look up different cheesecakes, as this one person is doing. It would be worth your while. The music, I agree with you. The music did sound worse in the PS1 version, but it's still not very good. I think even the fixed music for this town in both versions is still not very good. But we're almost there. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, the pitfalls in this cave are a little bit harder to see in this version. Go this way. There we go. You can kind of tell that the tile looks a little bit different. But sometimes you miss it. And whereas, if I remember correctly, the holes stay showing in the PlayStation version, they do not stay showing in this version. So if you fall down and then you accidentally walk over them again, well, sucks to be you. Also, there's no puzzle here. Kyle just puts a bunch of rocks in front of the hole and fixes the music. And now we can get out of here, and we can go summon the Blue Dragon Shrine. I really don't think that this version of the music is really much better than the original broken version, but whatever. So the chief tells us that the Dragon Shrine will appear when two people who deeply care for each other sing, essentially, or create some kind of music together in harmony. So first, Mia and Nash try, and they fail epically. In the PS1 version, you actually get to hear their la la las. And then Jessica and Kyle decide to give it a try. But, well, they're really not much better, and in fact, just gets so pissed off at how terrible a singer Kyle is. And of course, he retorts that she sounds like an angry cat, but, well. So Nal suggests that Alex tries, and that no matter where Luna is, she will hear his ocarina song and respond to it with her own song. And she does. So she starts singing. All of the girls actually start to sing in this scene. Zenobia and Royce both think it's disgusting, but Fascia is like, no, it's like a song of hope. They're trying to give strength and courage to each other. And of course, Galleon is just like, haha, my evil plan is coming to fruition. But two people in love, their song resonated, and the Blue Dragon Shrine appears. This is also a very brutal dungeon in the PlayStation version, and much, much easier here with perfumes and all of the encounters dodgeable. The main thing here is just to know which of the springs to go into, so that you don't end up going in circles. In the PlayStation version, going in the wrong spring means an extra encounter. In this version, I believe they just teleport you to random places. So you just end up continuously going in circles that you don't need to be going in. It's very interesting because both Lunar 1 and Lunar 2 on the PlayStation have their own little quirks in terms of difficulty. with Lunar 1, it's the boss fights that can ruin your runs and kill your party. Because the encounters, unless you have the worst luck in the world, the encounters are usually very easy to run from. But in Lunar 2, the encounters are sometimes almost impossible to run from, and the boss fights are usually scripted. So it's a very interesting dynamic between the two games. But Fascia got here before us, unfortunately, and killed off the blue dragon. And this time, Nal is really angry, and he's gonna get revenge for all the dragons. But we have our piece of blue dragon equipment, so we are gonna take our leave of this place. Yeah, I agree with you, chat. The blue dragon is very pretty. It looks very cool. But not before Fascia comes to talk to us, and she's like, you don't know what it's like to live on the frontier and deal with what the Vile Tribe has to deal with. And I don't want to hurt you, but if you keep going, I'm not going to have any choice in the matter. So we only have one dragon left, which is the black dragon. But we have no idea where it is. The only thing we can do is kind of progress along the main road and see what we can find. Oop, I need perfumes. So, this is the Timur Pass. It is fairly short, but we do have a Zenobia encounter in this dungeon, same as you do in the PlayStation version. And Zenobia, being the evil witch that she is, well, she can't deal with us herself, and she just sends her lackeys to get rid of us. But she attacks us 2 times in total, and before she can get the 3rd tryout, something good happens. But of course, Jess is just generally unhappy to see Zenobia because she knows that she has to kill Zenobia in order to revive her father. To answer chat, this is the console that I'm using is a Super Nintendo with a Superboy adapter. So this is a cart, a Game Boy Advance cart played on a Super Nintendo. So, miraculously, somebody seems to have saved us from Zenobia's continuous onslaught of monsters. And we get to see these interesting horseback riders, a man and a woman. And apparently they shot those arrows from very long distance, so they must be really good. But now we're in Timur, we're safe. And hey, look, it's Lake. Where the heck did you come from? So we tell him about the blue dragon, and the Vile Tribe, and the balloon. And he says, well, there is an inventor here named Mike. And it's possible that he would build an airship for you so that you can get to the frontier and save Luna and find the black dragon. Because we don't know where it is. And so Lake offers to take Alex and Null up to see Mike to get an airship built. So Lake kind of drones on about good and evil in the hearts of men. And we're just going to go through this puzzle here. So this is a small puzzle. You have to go through the right doors. So star, and then sun, and then planet. And finally, Moon. And this is also a much shorter dungeon. We're just going to go up to the 3rd floor, and then we're going to head over to the left-hand side and get to Might that way. There is much less of the pipe maze navigation in this version than in the other version. I need more perfumes. Again, not because the battles are difficult, because Lake is with us, just in the interest of saving some time. We do not need to fight them, because we will actually get all of the levels we need from here on out from fighting boss battles. And ta-da, we're already at Might. So, Might and Lake already know each other, and Might is not very happy to hear that Lake wants him to build another airship. We're not sure what he needed the first one for, but he's still gonna build it for us because even though he's grumpy, he's still a nice guy. So, while Might builds the airship, we're gonna go back and collect our friends because, I mean, we can't go to the frontier without our friends, right? But, Lake did his job, and now he's gonna take off. And he says he's gonna go visit his friends in the Prairie Tribe out to the east. So, we tell them that the guy is gonna build the airship for us, and Nash doesn't seem to be around, but he comes back quickly enough saying that he had business to take care of. And he seems to be fairly cheerful, which is interesting. Because up until this point, he hasn't been all that cheerful. And we see the same couple that saved us in the canyon, and this dude that's tied up upside down. So it turns out that there is a plague affecting the Prairie Tribe, and this guy tried to sell them fake medicine, which is a punishable offense for the Prairie Tribe. In fact, they punish by death. So Alex, being the righteous person that he is like, no, you can't kill this person. Why don't you just turn him over to the legal authorities? And Tempest says, no, you know, we have to kill him. You know, if you're a man, you'd let me kill him. And so they do a man-to-man duel. Unfortunately, the variance of damage that Sword Dance can do to Tempest is really annoying. It can be anywhere from 0 to like 100 and something. And I am not getting terribly lucky here. And it seems to be completely random how much damage Alex will do to him with Sword Dance. I've had just 3 straight turns of like 125, and he goes right down. And I've had, well, what you see here. And a lot of zeros. So this is completely RNG based, and nothing seems to change it. Oh, crud. I'm gonna have to do it. Unfortunately, one of the things I notice about using the Game Boy, the Superboy adapter is that there is a bit of input lag, which results in things like me mistyping. But that's okay, because he missed, we don't have to redo it. Yeah, the damage that Tempest does to you, I agree with you, chat, in the PS1 is very negligible. Here, because we're such a low level for this part, it's a lot. And so every 2 attacks, I have to heal Alex back up. And see, there's a nice 0. Thank you. Thanks, Alex. You're the best. Luckily, I have a bunch of heal drops, so this might take a little bit, but, we'll get through it. I don't remember what Tempest was like in the Sega CD version. It's been a long time since I've actually played it, since you say that he's OP there. In all fairness, the damage that he can do with the bow and arrow in the PlayStation version as part of your party is actually not bad, considering. There we go, finally, and over 100 damage. Thank you. This is getting a little ridiculous. Game, please. For a little while, we thought it might be the sword, or it might be the attack, but we've tried different things, and it really... There's no regularity to this. At least not for me. Oh, nice miss, thank you. Come on, please give me a good attack. Thank you. And of course you get nothing from defeating Tempest except for his card. But Tempest admires your strength and gives you his necklace as a token of friendship. And says, you know, anytime you want to come visit the Prairie Tribe, you know, just show them that necklace and come right on in. So, interestingly, they noticed that the necklace is a black dragon tooth. And maybe the Prairie Tribe knows something about the black dragon. So we're going to turn this guy over to the authorities, and we're going to go speak to the Prairie Tribe and see what they know about the black dragon. So, this place is a little bit of a puzzle because you kind of have to search around a little bit before the plot trigger will hit. And I'm also going to pick up a shield for Kyle and a tiara for Jessica. So once we've explored enough, the plot will trigger and be like, oh yeah, you know, if we can't find our way during the daylight, we sure as heck can't find our way during the nighttime. So why don't we camp out here for the night? And you get an interesting, nice little scene with Kyle and Jessica, where Jessica is fondly remembering how Kyle promised that, like, he'd get a ship and become an admiral and take her on adventures with him. And it's kind of nice. But unfortunately, Kyle has already fallen asleep and hears none of this. So Jess gives up and also goes to sleep. And you also get to see Alex's bad Luna dream. Not to quite the same intensity, but you still get to see her all with flames and red colors, and it doesn't look good. But they get woken up suddenly, and it turns out that a couple of members of the Prairie Tribe come to find out what these people are doing here. So we tell them that we know Tempest, and we show them the pendant, and they basically show us the secret way out of the woods. And now that we've seen it once, we can see it as many times as we want, so anytime we come back through here, we're never coming back through here. We could see it. But here's Pau, the prairie village, under attack of some strange plague by some evil songstress. And it turns out his wife Fresca has gone to investigate where the evil music is coming from. And just as Fresca is coming back, the songstress strikes again. And Jess and Mia both go down for the count, because you had to rob me of my healer, didn't you, game? Didn't you? And Fresca is also unfortunately affected by it. Tempest, in a rage, goes to find out where it's coming from so that he can destroy its source and save his wife. Well, we also kind of got to save our girls too, so we're going to ask the Elder for permission to go into the Black Dragon Shrine. Do I have enough healing items before I do that? I'm going to buy a couple more, just for safety. So, my healers are down, so the only way I can heal right now is, items. So I just want to make sure I have enough to get through the next boss fight. So we tell the Elder what's going on, and the Elder agrees to let us through into the Black Dragon Fortress. Again, another dungeon that is severely tamed in this version. because having only the guys in your party makes this a rather difficult go-through. I mean, it was never the longest of dungeons, considering how long some of the other dragon dungeons are, but still, it has some very, very nasty enemies. But we pick up Tempest, and he becomes a party member for the duration of the Black Dragon Shrine. So he will be helping us with the next boss fight. I just wish he had some healing magic, and he doesn't. So you want to know how this compares to other versions of Lunar? It's okay. The PlayStation version, which this is based on, is better. Highly recommend that version. The Sega CD version is also a very interesting version. It kind of has its own separate story in a way. While the overall theme and such are very similar, the characters are the same. There are a lot of differences in the story itself. So I used the wrong door. There we go. But as we're getting to the end of this Black Dragon Shrine, Black Dragon reaches out to us because, unfortunately, he is already under the control of whoever is singing these evil songs and poisoning the people in the Prairie Tribe. So he gives us the last piece of dragon armor, but he says we're not ready to be a dragon master just yet. There's something else that we still have to do to pass the last trial. And this game did not let me run from the fight. I agree with you, Corndan. At least this isn't Dragon Song. Letting me run, though, would be nice. Please, game. Because then I can put more perfumes on and then I don't have to fight anything. This is definitely another one small sticking point that I don't like. That the game does not tell you when your perfumes run out. Okay, it's fine, thankfully, if we do get wrecked, because I can just restart the fight and try to run again. But thankfully, I didn't have to. If you die, the game just basically puts you back to the beginning of the fight with whatever HP and MP you started with. So we gotta equip all of our bright, shiny new dragon armor. We're also gonna give Kyle that brand new sword we picked up. And then we're gonna do the save and reload cheat so that we get full stats. And we're gonna go see what's up with the Black Dragon. So we find it's Luna who's actually been singing these horrible songs and making the Prairie Tribe sick. And it turns out she's under the control of Galleon and the Magic Emperor. And she's also controlling the Black Dragon to help enhance her magic. But because there's still a strong connection between Alex and Luna, Alex is able to kind of break her of her trance. And she realizes where she is. And she pleads for Alex to help her, but unfortunately the Magic Emperor is too strong, and he puts her back under his control. And that's what makes Alex transform into a heckin' awesome Dragon Man. So now that Alex is Dragon Master, he actually doesn't have to use attack up as much. So instead of twice, which is what I'm going to do with Kyle, he only needs to do it once. Unfortunately, Black Dragon loves AoE attack, and this is not a fun fight sometimes because of that. And Nash and Tempest are our only means to heal throughout this fight. But at the very least, I need to try to keep Alex and Kyle... I want that. Alex and Kyle awake and alive as long as I possibly can. There we go. Okay. Unfortunately, though, if the Black Dragon keeps doing AoE, Nash and Tempest are gonna die pretty quickly. But luckily, he didn't attack that turn, so this is good. So now I can use Kyle's slash attack now that he's been buffed up twice. Luckily, Rubius the Black Dragon does not have too much HP. Sure that these two live through this round, because this round or the next round should be the last attacks I need. So either Kyle will kill it here, or Alex will kill it in the next turn. So Alex will kill it in the next turn. So yeah, Rubius only has about 4,800 HP, which is still not too bad. And that's the end of the Black Dragon. So, unfortunately, even though Alex is a Dragon Master, Luna is once again under the Magic Emperor's spell, and he takes her away to this place called the Grindery, even reviving the body of the Black Dragon for his own dastardly deeds and uses. But we're going to use that dragon feather that we got at the very beginning of the game so that we can escape from here and not have to walk all the way back out. So we're gonna go check on our girls because they should be okay now that the songs have stopped. And they are. They're actually just getting ready to come save us. And of course everybody is happy that the girls are safe and sound and they were worried. And, well, we tell them that Luna is the Dark Songstress, which makes Jessica and Mia none too happy to hear about that. And then Late comes to tell us that the airship is ready and that we can go to Might's Tower and go fly out to the frontier and save our girlfriend. But we're gonna go pick up some other stuff first. So we're gonna go pick up one of the most OP items in the game, which is the Devil's Teeth. So we actually get the Devil's Tear here in Lawn from the mayor. The mayor wants to throw us this celebration that we're the Dragon Master and all this other stuff. And then when we talk to him a second time, he gives us the Devil's Tear. So what the Devil's Tear does is whoever we equip it on is going to have a full limit break gauge at the beginning of every single fight. And Mia is going to be the one to use it. Her limit break is actually pretty OP. We're also going to put the cat ears on her because cat ears will give her a little bit extra agility. And we're going to give that spike shield over to... Oops, that spike shield over to Kyle just for a little bit of extra defense. And then, well, now we're ready to go see Mike. Thank goodness for dragon wings, right? So Mike tells us that he's just finishing up the last touches, just to kind of chill out for a little bit so we get to talk to everybody. And we hear Kyle kind of boasting about how easy this is going to be, but then very sweetly tells Jessica that he'll protect her. She doesn't actually hear him say it, and then they get into a fight, because Jessica and Kyle. And then here, we hear Mia and Nash talking about the fact that Nash is kind of scared, and asks Mia if she's scared that she's just going to be killed. And she says, well, you know, I'm next in line to run the guild, so I have to be brave. So the balloon is finished. We're ready to go to the frontier. And we're going to save Luna. And Nash is kind of laughing at us. He's like, you're going to go to the frontier? You're going to defeat the Magic Emperor? You're too weak. He's too powerful. In order to protect you, he destroys the airship's engine and leaves with Royce. And it turns out he has been a double agent the whole time, telling the Vile Tribe and Galleon exactly what we were doing, exactly where we were, and that's why Nash sucks. And in every version of the game, he does betray you. It is a little bit different in the Sega CD version. Just a little bit. And, but it still happens. It happens in every game. But we need a new engine. So we're going to go to Reza, where the thieves stole our balloon, and we're going to use the engine from the balloon instead. Because, well, we don't have time to wait around for might take another 3 years to build another balloon engine. And luckily, by talking to the bartender, the guy in charge of the Thieves Guild, because Lily has been returned, his order has been returned, he's like, oh, you know, you can go get the engine free of charge. Otherwise, you have to pay a lot of money for it. I mean, so you thought Nash sucks because status in this series are bad. Well, yes, that too. But we have our engine. Now we're really ready to go to the frontier without that traitor Nash. So, to answer the question in chat, what are the other Lunar games? There is the original Silver Star and Eternal Blue for Sega CD. There are the remakes of Silver Star and Eternal Blue for both Sega Saturn and PS1, which are fantastic. Sega Saturn is only Japanese. PlayStation 1 is translated and has some very, very Kishi voice acting. And then there's this, which is a remake of PS1, and Silver Star Harmony, which is also a remake of PS1. And then there's Dragon Song, which we don't talk about. But we're on our way to the frontier. That is a heckin' creepy tower right there. And unfortunately, it's got a force field around it, so even though Jess is trying to get near it, she can't. So she's gonna have to land us a little bit away. And we come to this mining town, Tabin. What turns out is that the miners are the people of the Vile Tribe, and for the most part, they're kind of just being forced into labor by Zenobia. In the Sega CD version, interestingly, there's a scene where the people of Berg get kidnapped and they're working in the mines. That does not happen in any other version except for that one. So we're going to make our way through the mines. So this version is really nice. The mines are still a maze, no matter which version you play on, but this version of the mines has these little blue and blue-purple-ish squares above the doors, or pink squares above the doors. So the nice thing is anytime you go through one of those blue-purple square doors, you know that you're going into the next area. If you go through any other color, well, you're going to get looped around. And I think that is a really great touch because the Tabin mines are a heck of a maze. So we find out that there's been an accident, and instead of letting the worker recover, the soldiers are like, no, you should keep working for the glory of Zenobia. And we're just gonna beat this guy up real quick, because he's a jerk. But he goes down easy, so it's fine. So we even take the time to heal this poor injured miner. And he's very shocked. He's like, wow, there really are good humans out there. And Phasia also sees this and pretty much comments the same. She's like, oh, I'm surprised by their actions. And of course, Kyle is boasting after saying he didn't want us to get caught, but that's just Kyle. That's just Kyle. Oh good, we ran away. Because as soon as we go into the other area of the mines, the perfumes have to be re-put on. I didn't really want to put them back on for like 3 steps, because I'm running a little low. Alright, so going through the second part of the mines. Still pretty short and quick. Thank goodness for those doors, because I'm telling you, going through the PS1 version of the mines definitely is not fun if you don't know exactly which way you're supposed to go. So we're gonna come up on a little bit of a scene here. Kyle has like this bad feeling, and all of a sudden the lights go out. And this text cannot be sped up no matter what you do. And it seems like Jessica and Mia have been caught somehow. And of course, it's Zenobia. And Zenobia decides she wants to have some fun. And she orders Kyle and Alex to kill each other. So they kind of like play fight for a while. She gets angry at them. She's like, no, be serious about this. And Kyle says something to the effect of, well, you know, it's still better than subjecting me to that witch Jessica. And they get into a fight, but the emotional outburst and the distraction allows Zenobia to be distracted enough so that Mia and Jessica can get free. And Zenobia just sends another minion after us because, well, she's too high up on the chain. We can't fight her yet. So here is the OP of Mia's limit break. And, wow, let me tell you, it is really nice. So, Mia's limit break completely nulls all magic and attacks for 3 turns, even if it is a boss that attacks multiple times in the same turn. So it is fantastic. You get 3 turns completely damage-free for every boss from here on out, because, like I said, that Devil's Tear allows you to start every single fight with that limit break gauge build. So yeah, you can see that the block clamp's damage is doing absolutely nothing to us, and it won't until after this turn is over, but we'll probably kill it in this turn. Depending on what Kyle does here, at least. Okay, good. Sometimes Kyle gets really bad damage rolls, and it just makes things longer. But we're good. So now that we've defeated Zenobia's minion, we can go and get out of these heckin' mines. Not before Jess and Kyle have another argument, but... well, like I said before, it's Jess and Kyle. I mean, it's bound to happen multiple times in the game. So if you try to go into Ruid right away, you find out that the gate is locked and there's no way in. So you have to come over here to Caden, and Caden is kind of like a resting place for Vile Tribe members. So a lot of them are in this kind of stasis sleep. And that's what those little glowing cocoon-looking things are. But, interestingly enough, despite the fact that it was the goddess Althena that cast out the Vile tribe, they still worship her. They still have statues of her. And in front of one of these statues, you see Phaecia and Zenobia fighting because Phaecia thinks that what Zenobia is doing is wrong, and that they shouldn't be following the way of the Magic Emperor, and that's not going to win them any favors with the goddess Althena. But Zenobia is way too blinded and just tells Phaecia that she's wrong. So Phaecia gives us the password to get into Ruid, so that we can go confront him and help save Luna. So, interestingly enough, the password to get into this little hidden entrance is Green Earth. Something that is prevalent all over the planet Lunar, except here where the Vile tribe is in the frontier. Yep, exactly, chat. Green Earth, the dream of those from the frontier. This Ruid is also a lot easier to navigate through. It's less of a town that you have to go through and just kind of a bunch of buildings. There's still a little bit of town stuff, so like right here, I'm walking around on the outside, but for the most part, you're just walking through the buildings instead. Let me put some more perfumes on, because I really don't want to get an encounter here. This is not a good place for it. Right. And almost everything, you're just kind of going off to the right. So for those of you who were asking before, this is Tabin. He's an evil scientist. He built the grindery, that big tall tower. And there is magical weapon Nash for your viewing pleasure. He looks like a giant chicken, IMO. The difference being, though, you don't have to fight him in this version. But Mia is very angry with Nash and tries to smack some sense into him, and she kind of does. He's like, you know, the Nash I love would never do something like this, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But Tabin's not going to let him get off that easily. But instead of fighting him, Nash just kind of knocks Tabin off the edge and breaks the suit. So, while Nash is apologizing, Galleon comes out to the front of the grindery to gloat, and he's like, haha, the grindery is ready to go, you'll never catch me. And the grindery rolls away. And we gotta go catch it. So we're gonna warp out of Ruid, because who the heck wants to walk through all of that again? Unfortunately, even though we don't have to fight Magical Weapon Nash, we have to fight Tabin in this version. And Tabin actually has a heck of a lot of HP compared to a lot of other bosses in this game who probably should have had more. But we're going to use Mia's OP limit break. We're going to power up Kyle. We're going to use Sword Dance. And that's going to be kind of the strat for the remainder of the bosses. Except when we get to Galleon, we're going to pray a little bit too. So, for anybody who may not have played the Sega CD version, because I see the comment in chat that it's not as much walking as it is in the CD version, I agree. There's no just like nice little hop back and forth places and not have to deal with overworld walking. There's Man, there is a considerable amount of overworld walking in the Sega CD version, and there's monsters up there too. So having the dragon wings in the original version makes it really nice. Okay, so Kyle is finally powered up. Now it can wreck this guy's face. So yeah, I don't know that this is better or worse than having to fight Magical Weapon Nash, but I don't know. I kind of like the satisfaction of beating up Nash after he betrays us, personally. But Taven is almost down for the count, so we're good. Having the extra power boost and agility from the wind boots, it really kind of makes the rest of the bosses in this game a joke. Except, like I said, for Galleon, because Galleon is still Galleon. Yeah, it's really fun to watch that smirk fade off of Nash's face. I really enjoy that, so I do miss that fight in this game. But Taven's out of the way. We're gonna fly our way back. And we find out that the Grindery is actually headed towards the Goddess Tower. So Mia comes up with the idea to go to Vane because there's something that she can do to help slow it down a little bit. But I'm sorry, first I have to subject you to more perfume buying, because we're almost out. And that'll be the last time we have to buy perfumes in the game. Not dragon feathers, I don't need those, I just want perfume. So yeah, when this game was originally routed, there was some perfume use, but not quite to the extent that we use it now. Like, we knew that as long as we had it on, that the monsters would not show up. However, we didn't really realize that it would stack at first. And once we found out that it stacked, it cut a lot of time off the run. So between myself, Holy Smith, and High Spirits, we've definitely changed a few things about the initial runs that were done with this game. Yes, I know. For those of you who are new, I'm sorry I have to buy things one at a time. But it is the really only terrible thing with this, is the one at a time item management. But like I said, last time we have to buy anything, so we're good. Old dude, get out of my way. So we're gonna go talk to Lamia first so that we can get permission. And then we're gonna go use this super secret room in Vane. Because she wants to use the Silver Tower to protect the Goddess Tower from the Grindery. And Lamia agrees, but, you know, and says that she's proud of her daughter, and she still looks a little worried, though, because she's her mom. So they go to evacuate Vane, just in case. And we get to see the true hidden power of Vane. And if you ever have the chance to watch this actual full cutscene on the PlayStation version, you really should, because it is very awesome, and Mia kicks a lot of butt here. So essentially, this room gathers all the magic power of Vane. Because Vane is technically meant to protect the Goddess Tower. That's why it hovers around the Goddess Tower. So you have this little showdown between Vane and the Grindery. And unfortunately, you kind of end up with a little bit of a double KO. And Vane plummets to the ground, but we do stop the Grindery and get rid of that annoying barrier that was around it. So yeah, if you can go watch this cutscene, it's pretty epic. It's one of my favorites in the game. So we warp out of there because, well, Vane is trashed, and there really isn't much else we can do. And we go talk to Lamia and tell her that we're sorry for what happened to Vane, but she says, no, that was Vane's role, and it happened, but we'll rebuild. But now, well, now we can go into the grindery and save Luna and beat Galleon. To answer the question in chat, is this the runner? Yes, I am also the runner who is doing commentary. I am the RPG chick. So we get to the grindery, and of course, there's an onslaught of monsters because, you know, they're not going to leave it unguarded, right? That's not going to happen. But luckily, Tempest and Fresca come save us and give us some cover so that we can get into the grindery. So actually, in the other versions, you have to fight a couple of battles before they show up with some of the Prairie Tribe. Luckily, you don't have to do that here. But we still have to go through the grindery. Grindery can be a bit of a puzzle, but you just have to know which of the tubes to go through. And unfortunately, as we go through the grindery, we find the different dragons kind of being used as power sources. And it's really creepy, and it's really terrible. It makes me feel so much worse for them. So we saw the white dragon, we saw the red dragon. I don't remember if we see the blue one, but we would definitely pass by the black one also. And I need to re-put my perfumes on. So let's do that first. Yeah, there is the blue dragon. I think it's kind of interesting that the game shows you the 4 dragons kind of in the order in which you encounter them. And that pattern actually pops up a lot. It's very thematic of this game. We're almost out of here. Not that. Okay. Oh wait, no, it is that way. I'm being silly. There's the black dragon. And we're going to come to a very interesting little pit stop in the middle of the grindery. So here's this nice, beautiful garden, and it's full of a lot of the fairies that Galleon has rescued over time. Like I said, he really likes them a lot. He absolutely adores them. Even if he doesn't like humans, he wants to protect them if anything happens. So we're getting into the tower part of the grindery. We're almost at the top. Just a couple more floors. Is there a difference on graphics between Lunar on Sega than the one for Game Boy Advance? Yes. Every version has their own different set of sprites. No, I was so close. I almost got through without more perfume. So we come to this magic door. Kyle thinks he can brute force his way through it. But Mia's like, no, it's powerful magic, and we're not going to be able to open it without powerful magic. So Phaecia comes to remove the spell, but it looks like she's pretty badly injured. And she's like, no, let me do this for you because I want to help you. What we've been doing and following the Magic Emperor is wrong, and this is not what's best for the Vile Tribe. But of course, Zenobia and Roy show up because they don't agree with her. But Phaecia is going to protect us and give us time to get up to Galleon. Also, this is the same cutscene image that they use in the White Dragon Cave. Way to go, Game Arts. But it's time for the final showdown. We're gonna kick Galleon's butt. Oh, I should have... Okay, that's alright. Oh wait, no, because she's Miss Veiling this turn. Right. Okay, so Miss Veil to protect us for a few turns because, well, he is the Magic Emperor, so his magic will do a lot of damage to us. Especially at this level. So now we're gonna boost Kyle's attack a second time so that Kyle can start attacking. So, Magic Emperor has about a little under 7,000 HP. The HP in this game doesn't seem to be based off of Alex's level, unless I'm just mistaken about that. But in the other versions, it is. In PlayStation version and in Sega CD version, it's based off of Alex's level to a certain point. Like, there's a threshold, essentially, that you meet before it changes again. And we're gonna defend because, well, Magic Emperor hasn't done any damage to us yet. Not just yet. But thanks to Alex and Kyle, we're making short work of this guy. And we should be able to get rid of him in this turn. Before he can even do any damage to us. Ha! What kind of Magic Emperor are you? I mean, at least assuming that Kyle's rolls aren't completely awful. Or Alex's. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Alex! Thanks for that 884. Alright, so we're gonna take a little bit of damage. Also, if you haven't played the other versions, there is voice acting for the villains as they do their attacks, the same as it is for your party, because there's voice acting for your party when they do stuff too. But with the villains, it's the same line over and over and over again. And it does get really tedious really fast. But we beat the Magic Emperor. Game over, right? We won. We're the best. Time to save our girlfriend. Uh-oh. This doesn't look good. Aw, heck. This is definitely not good. Also, this is another cutscene I really recommend watching, The Dark Songstress. This is my favorite cutscene of the entire game. Watching Luna revive the Goddess Tower. Also, she's wearing stockings in that screenshot. Turns out we didn't actually kill Galleon. Feels bad. So, Galleon has the dark goddess Althena. And he's going to use her to drain all the magic from the world from the goddess tower and wreck us. I guess we didn't beat the game yet. So, we kind of wake up in Meridia, but things aren't going so well. We've actually been out for quite a few days, and here is another strange twist in this plot. Normally, it's Jess and Mia that come to wake you up rather than Jess and Nash. And we're gonna go look for Mia and Kyle, but typically we're looking for Kyle and Nash. And we actually find out here that Mia is really, she's really upset about what happened, and she needs some cheering up, basically. And in the other versions, it's Nash that needs to be cheered up, and I don't know. Nash strikes me as the kind of person who would very easily give up rather than Mia. So having it done this way has always seemed very strange to me, and I prefer it the other way. But Nash will step up, and he will, tell Mia, no, it's not impossible to beat Galleon, and we can do this. So, come with us, and come defeat Galleon with us. Now we gotta go get Kyle, and, of course, Kyle is at the bar. Because where else would Kyle be? You can see him all mopey and adorable over here, lost in his drink. And he tells us about how he's just a bandit, and, he's not strong enough to do this. He just gets really angry with him for giving up and being so weak. So he goes after her, and you get that nice little touching scene where he's like, yeah, I'm still gonna get a boat, and we're still gonna go on all these awesome adventures, and he tells Jess that he'll protect her. And it's really cute. So that's it. Our resolve is up. We're ready to go kick some Galleon butt. But first, Lake takes us back here to Dine's monument, and he tells us a little bit about what happened in the past. So it turns out that the goddess Althena decided to be reborn as a human and kind of disperse her magic and her power amongst the humans to let them kind of take care of themselves. And Galleon never really understood this. He does not find much hope or faith in humankind, and has never been happy about this whole thing. And the reason, of course, that Lake knows all about this is because Lake is actually the former Dragon Master Dine. And he was the one who brought Luna here for Alex's parents to take care of. And he tells Alex, take the sword and become a true Dragon Master. So we get true Dragon Master Alex. I mean, he looks the same to me, but whatever. So now we have to get up to the Goddess Tower. Well, there's no airship, but, the old Dragon Master used to fly on a dragon, but we don't have any dragons. So Lake reveals that Null is actually a white dragon. Isn't he pretty? He's so pretty. a lot of the cutscenes from the Vane versus the Grindery onwards are all pretty epic. They're all pretty epic. So the Goddess Tower is sapping the magic from the land, but we're gonna go stop Galleon and all of this nonsense. And we turn to Berg together with Luna. So we come into the Goddess Tower, and interestingly enough, there's Luna. And she's like, oh, I escaped during one of his ceremonies. We should just let him be in charge. And they're like, what? Of course, it's not Luna, but it's Royce. And Royce casts a curse on us. And this is actually pretty obnoxious in every single version. So what this curse does is it puts 1 or 2 random party members to sleep at the beginning of each battle. And you never know who it's going to affect and who it's not going to affect, which is what makes it pretty terrible. But, well, we got no choice. We have to persevere through the Goddess Tower. Royce's curse or no. Luckily, this is pretty straightforward, and we don't have to fight the extra battle encounters, which unlocks each little square area. We can just walk through without that. We're gonna pick up Kyle's last sword right here. The Demon Blade is very powerful, although it does do 10 HP damage to Kyle per turn. But that's okay. I'm gonna put a few more perfumes on because I'm pretty sure mine's about expired. Well, so you're wondering how I'm going to use 76 perfumes in the next 22 minutes? Well, I always bring extra just in case I accidentally forget where I'm going, or something happens. But here's Royce, and we're going to kick her snaky butt. So, it looks like Jess and Nash are asleep, which is actually pretty good. This is like the optimal situation here. Because honestly, they could stay asleep for the entire battle and it wouldn't matter even a little bit. And I think if I remember correctly, Royce keeps spouting, I saved this just for you, throughout the entire battle, and it's obnoxious. I'm pretty sure that's her dialogue. Oh, heck. Inputs, please. But yeah, Royce actually has far less HP than Tabin and her sister Zenobia. So she actually goes down pretty quickly. I guess she didn't foresee that in her fortune. I think she has, if I remember correctly, she has just shy of 6,000 HP. I love that Nash and Jess are still asleep. That's fantastic and just proves my point. They're still asleep! Oh my gosh! I don't think I've ever seen them sleep through the entire battle. That's pretty funny. It's okay, guys. You know, we got this. You just take a nap. So now we're going to come up to the second portion of the Goddess Tower, and the second portion of the Goddess Tower relies on you remembering which order you fought the dragons in. Because you're going to be continuously pressing switches on each floor in the order in which you found the dragons. Yeah, yes, to answer your question, 999 is the max. I don't know why they chose that number, but it seems that nothing actually goes above 999. So rather than 4 digits, they just keep it at 3. I would like to sleep through an entire battle and still get experience, to be honest with you. That seems like a pretty cushy gig. I'm gonna wait until I'm up here, and now we're gonna use more perfume. So there's quite a few floors of white, red, blue, black. Go up there. And this is why I have extra perfumes. So, white button first, once we get to it. Also, you don't want to fight these monsters. These monsters take so long to kill. They take almost no damage from anything. And then red. And then blue and black. So yeah, a few floors of this in different patterns, in different methods. But basically, we're just opening up staircases for each floor. And there's some nice wonky staircase stuff for you, being able to access the staircase from behind. Yeah, so your perfumes run out quite often. Hence, you need quite a few of them. So, more than I need, but still good to have. Just in and the order is always extremely inconvenient, to be completely honest with you. Like, I started out at the very top of the room, and then the white one is down south, and then the red one is back up north, and blue and black are opposite each other also. This tower is obnoxious. Also, you can pick up those treasures for some very OP endgame equipment for your party. I don't need it, but if you're playing casually, definitely worth it picking up. Alright, stairs are south here. But a couple more floors, and then we'll get past the switching area. This is probably the worst of it, because you have to go all the way up to the top to press 3 switches, to go all the way back to the bottom to press the last switch. But this is the last of the switches. And from here on out, we're just climbing up the tower. To save our girlfriend. One more time for perfumes here. And then we can get through the last of this heckin' floor. When you reach the top of the Goddess Tower in this part for PlayStation 1, there's actually like these little electric barriers that you have to get rid of. And essentially you have to have the monsters crash into them while avoiding the monsters. It's It's annoying. I don't know who decided to make this goddess tower so tall, but they should be fired. Out of cannon. Alright, finally. So now we hit the top of the tower, and we finally get to encounter Zenobia. So, interesting tiny little tidbit, Zenobia has more HP than every other boss in this game. I don't know why, but she does. And because she has to be difficult, she sends us into these awful nightmares where we have to confront ourselves. Because RPG cliches. And this happens in the PlayStation version also. So this is not like a Game Boy thing. But essentially everybody's like, no, you know, this isn't how it is. I'm brave and I'm courageous and you're wrong. I'm not this weak little person that you think I am. But Null also helps, and Null's like, hey, you know, you're all cool. You should overcome this. And so we get to see everybody overcome it very quickly, except for Alex. And Null is like, no, Alex is the best of us all. He's gonna come out just fine. And of course we do. Now it's time to kick Zenobia's butt. Because she has been a very, very terrible antagonist this entire time, and I look forward to this. And for those of you who are curious, she repeats, your time has run out over and over again for the entire duration of the PlayStation fight. But like I said, she has the most HP out of all the bosses, so this fight takes a little bit. She's got 8,700 HP that we have to slash our way through. So chat asks, why can't we use the dragon to murder everyone? Well, dragons are not as OP as they would like you to think they are. But yeah, I still, even though it's Game Boy, and it's not as good as the PlayStation version, I still recommend it because the sprite work, I think, is absolutely gorgeous. Especially for a Game Boy game. You still get almost the entire story from PS1. It's just abbreviated dungeons, and the game is made a little bit easier. So I would still recommend it. Another chat question, how am I streaming the Game Boy game? I have a Game Boy adapter from my Super Nintendo, and I'm playing it on that. Although there are technically ways to modify your Game Boys to stream. I don't know how that's done, but I know it's a thing. Bye, Zenobia. I hate you. So this is good. We're level 35. This is what we want to be. We're gonna use our save and load trick one last time, so that we recover all of our lovely stats. And we're gonna go kick Galleon's butt. So this battle requires a little bit of Bless RNG, because it's a little bit of a DPS race. So we're still gonna get Mia's buff for the first 3 turns. However, if I get bad damage rolls with Alex and Kyle, it's gonna get a little bit dicey. So if you want to throw your Bless RNGs in chat, as I already see you doing, please do so, because I could use the luck. As Galleon monologues to us. Galleon, stop talking and let me fight you. So, to answer the question, is the fight possible without her magic? No. Not really. It's not really possible without it. Alright, so this is the one time we're gonna Vigor Alex again. We're gonna put up our Mist Veil to block damage for the first 3 turns so that we can get our boys powered up. And like I said, we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray hard. So Galleon does 2 attacks each turn. It would be preferable that he does attacks rather than magic, but you're usually not quite that lucky. What happens if I turn in a Mist Veil late? Well, I mean, Galleon will do damage to me in the first turn, and it might kill Alex or Kyle, which is not good. And I really wish Galleon would stop casting double magic, because it's taken up a lot of time. I go face for max DPS, exactly. This is like I said, 100% a DPS race. Can we kill Galleon before he kills us? Thankfully, if I die, I just get to restart the battle, but I'd rather not die. That would be bad. In the PlayStation version, he, in addition to his various magic attacks and his physical attack, he has a shield that you do have to break through, and man, that thing is annoying to break through. I think the only enemy worse in the Lunar series, and of course which has induced many rages amongst players over the years, has been the Sega CD version of Borgin. I don't think anybody has ever raged as hard at any boss in Lunar as they have at Sega CD Borgin. Okay, Galleon, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And is Kyle gonna die? Kyle might die. Nope, Kyle lived. Okay. So I need to do everything in my power to keep Alex and Kyle up for one more turn here. Yes, yes, yes! Woohoo! So, we beat Galleon. Everything is cool now, right? Right? Totally cool? Well, there's still the matter that we gotta rescue Luna, because if we just kind of take her out, the Goddess Tower and all the magic will destroy Lunar. So we're gonna have to do this a little bit carefully. And we don't have to play the ocarina, which kind of sucks. But we are gonna go save Luna anyway. I also miss that we don't get to hear Galleon's death rattle in that very last scene. Because it's a really good death cry. So normally you would play the ocarina and you would walk up the stairs with Alex, and if you don't play the ocarina, you get miserably ruined and defeated. And Luna tells us to give up on her, but we, of course, are not going to do that. So Alex is like, you know, we're always going to be together. Come back to Berg with me, Luna. But, well, the Goddess Tower is kind of crumbling and falling, so we gotta get out of here. We don't have time to get Luna and Alex. So Nala's like, it'll be okay. I know that they'll come and they'll be safe, so let's get out of here. And he flies everyone out of the Goddess Tower. But the Goddess Tower crumbles and no Alex and Luna. But life is being restored to the planet at least, so that's good. But we get Alex and Luna anyway. Yay! Happy endings. So everybody's safe, everybody's happy, the villain has been defeated. It's such a happy ending. So, everybody's gonna go their own separate ways. Nash and Mia are gonna go back to Rose Street and deal with the rebuilding of Vane. Jess and Kyle are gonna go pay Mel a visit so that Jess can tell Mel that they're official. And we're coming up on time pretty soon, just to let you know, Tina.
I'm ready with it.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the very last bit of dialogue here. We're going to go to the docks and find Lake. Haha, we're going to go to the docks and find Lake. I like that. I unintentionally punned. So we're gonna have one last talk with Lake before we're on our merry way. And he kind of congratulates us and tells us to live our full lives. And we're coming up on time. Soon. Come on, dialogue. And time.
GG.
Thank you. A little bit over, but that was not such good RNG. So not too bad.
Still, the runs seem to go pretty smoothly all in all. Ignoring the RNG mishaps, you seem to handle everything really, really quite well.
Yeah, luckily, like I said, this is a pretty safe game to run, especially marathon-wise, because you can just restart fights if you do happen to lose to them somehow. But yeah, thank you so much for letting me show this off, because, I mean, even though I like the PS1 version better, it's like more than double the time. So I'm glad I could at least show this version off for everybody.
Heck yeah, and Lunar is just such a great series, so getting to show it off is really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it does not show up in a whole lot of marathons, but I definitely want to thank High Spirits and Holy Smith because they have done so much work on all of the Lunar games over the past few years. And without them, I probably wouldn't have picked this up at all, because I didn't even know running Lunar was a thing till I saw High Spirits do it.
Right on.
Even Dragon Song. But if y'all like RPG speedruns, I mean, feel free to drop me a follow. I always appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely do give RPG Chick a follow. Her runs are always super, super fun, and she keeps a great channel. And while these credits run, one more time to remind everybody, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have the Community Spotlight. They're going to be showing off a Switch game called Dandara. I had not heard of it until today, and it looks super, super cool. I can't wait for this. Prize submissions for AGDQ are open. If you want to get some prizes in to help benefit charity, go ahead and head on over to gamesdonequick.com. Information is up there. Frame Fatale's run submissions are going to be open between December 15th and January 14th. If you want to get a chance to show off games that you run, make sure that you're ready for that. And as a final note, Treefort and all the other hotfix content is supported from viewers like you. So people who've been cheering, people who've been subscribing, thank you all so much.